Oh, well, everybody know who I want next. I want Terence Crawford next.
You're going to make that happen?
Huh?
You're going to make that happen?
Oh, definitely. That's the fight that I want. That's the fight everybody else want. Like I said, I'm going to get these straps and I'm going to go over there and take his shit too.
All right. Errol, congratulations. Terrific fight this evening.
Thank you, man. Now, strap season, y'all know what time it is, baby. Terrence, I'm coming for that motherfucking belt.
All right.
I'm not catching fades anymore. Gotta keep my hands clean when they come for the board. Keep it smooth like a dawn, making moves in the dark. Cause I learned how to swim in the pool full of sharks. Now they coaches, cause they can't read all his motions. How the kid never switch codes, but he codes with focus. Staring down your team with a frozen, ice cold look that could end the summer solstice. Cause I'm more like the top dog. Keep on running game and the gang will accost y'all. I be calling plays from a plane while I'm off court. But we ain't the same, you a lame, I'm a mob star. Actually, I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pull strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, God vibes, I'm the kingpin. They know I'm a dog and a beast, man. Yeah, I keep the peace with a peace, man. I ain't got no time for appeasement. Why would I respond to a pawn? I'm the... Hold up.
If I let my dogs off the leash, then you might want to get out of dodge by the evening. Honestly, think it's not the blood and the beat, and they don't leave anything behind at the evening.
I can see you soft, ever thought about retreating. If you never have, then they'll give you a reason. Better watch your tone, lose your bass when you speaking. Underneath the mask is the wrath of a... When you learn how to smile in their face, then go cutthroat. Then they want to call you a con when the blood cold. I remember starving while y'all had a truckload. Now I'm with the mob with the call and the gusto. I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athlete. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pull strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, God vibes, I'm the kingpin.
Trying to get back, you know what I'm saying? Your boy has been working his butt off, but we have to get acclimated, just like Bud Crawford has to get acclimated to 168, right? We got to get acclimated, you know what I'm saying? So your boy had to get acclimated, but your boy had some time off, so I said, man, let's get back into this. What's going on, Greeks? He said, caught one of your lives, let's cook. Yes, sir. So, of course, I've been going on panels. I went on Marty panel. And man, when I tell you, when we get a big fight, these brothers cannot agree to disagree. And, of course, I've been in these streets for a while, so it affect me. I just can't get into that mood until somebody insult me or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't even want to raise my blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? So it's like 1,000 people jump on the panel and they start reiterating all the old talking points that's been argued over the last 15 to 20 years. I'm talking about, I done argued that stuff so much, man, I can't do it no more. You know what I mean? It's just like, even though the same old talking points has been, it don't matter. They just regurgitate over. But trust me, I've been here. You say, and once you done heard it 15, 30, 40 times, you don't even want to respond to that shit, man. It's like you see people still trying to bring up stuff about Errol Spence Jr. and all how people hate Crawford and all this kind of stuff. They can't move past it, bro. It's like it's some kind of trauma bonding, traumatic bullshit that they got going on over there because Anytime you try to help Crawford to get on his side, oh, everybody hate me. Everybody hate me. Nobody likes Crawford. And it's like, bro, if you don't stop. Let's see. Yeah, my internet went out for a second. Okay, what's going on? Yeah, no, it's my internet went out for a second. No, but what I want to say, man, it's like they always fall on this victim thing, and it's always the young people, what I'm saying, who haven't been here. They act like we haven't went over this stuff, and they don't understand. Yes, sir, I'm back. Um, they act like we haven't went over this. They don't know that we've been over this stuff over and over, and they think that they're making a point. Bro, we've heard that point 500,000 times. It's been disproven. I was on Marty channel, and I was just listening to people argue the same shit that we've argued like 5 years ago, and went back and forth and stripping our throats. And I was just like, man, let me leave this panel, bro. You know what I'm saying? I am so tired of arguing the same thing. Okay, we're trying to support, even when you try to support Bud Crawford, they ain't having it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have like, it's like an occult. Unless you like totally show, if you show the slightest criticism of, okay, if you say Terence Crawford cannot knock out Canelo Alvarez, oh my God. And I don't think he can knock him out, but they think that Crawford can. They think he can do anything, even though you're trying to support him and you backing him against Canelo. That's not enough. You know what I'm saying? I was on that panel listening to some of them guys whine. I was like, bro, are you serious? You know what I'm saying? They want you to worship him like he's God or something, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's a hell of a fighter. Roy Jones Jr. was a hell of a fighter. Sweet Pea was a hell of a fighter, but I'd be damned if I'm going to watch his draws. It's just not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys sound like they pregnant by Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Sound like they pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you. I mean, I'm just telling you, man. I was just like sitting there listening. It's like, bro, the slightest slight that anybody say anything, or they feel like they perceive that it's a slight towards Crawford, it's like, oh my God, bro, I understand. You know what I'm saying? I understand that you love the dude, but we're people are trying to support Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to be honest. You're talking to boxing fans here. If they see what they see, even if they go for Canelo, you know what I'm saying? And the reasons why that they want to go for Canelo is legit. I'm just saying, I don't give a damn what nobody think. It's legit. You know what I'm saying? The man is bigger, and we all know that it is said that if a great bigger man beats a great little man, that's just what it is. That's what has been out throughout boxing history. But even when you try to support the little man, all the little fanatics don't want to let the rest of the people support them, because they want to have their own little cult to surround Crawford, and they don't want no insiders. You know what I'm saying? Because they want a different colored flag, because they were always loyal from the beginning, right? It's like, man, if y'all don't get out of here with that incel shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, can we just support the brother? You know what I'm saying? Hope that he win. Can we do that? You know what I'm saying? And you fanatics just go throw you a little orgy somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Go throw your little Crawford orgy somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And just leave us out of it. Let us support the boxing part, and y'all just do all the strange P Diddy shit behind the scenes, okay? You know what I'm saying? But we do want Crawford to win. You know what I'm saying? We just not gonna worship his draws. When his draws hanging out there on the back, we ain't gonna sniff them. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna enjoy the win that Crawford probably is gonna go out there and get a unanimous decision, or he's gonna get a good split decision. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just can't see it. I'm not saying that I'm 100% sure in my prediction because Canelo got something up his sleeve, right? With all his sparring and getting sharp and the timing, he's got some kind of plan. I don't know if he's just going to go out there and just hit Crawford in the hips and try to debilitate his hips and get him up out of there. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But we got to stop being so damn extreme. You know what I mean? You can't even go on a panel without motherfuckers like, you know what I'm saying, can't disagree without calling. What he called that dude? He called him a bitch ass something. I was like, oh my God, bro. I said, it ain't even that damn serious. And then the dude kind of sensed what's going on, that autism boy, what's happening? Let me see. How to do my wrenches. I forgot how to do, bro. This is sad. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. How to do the wrench. I'll figure it out. But I got you. You're gonna be a wrench autism boy. Let me go on with the show. I'm gonna make you a wrench because I could do it retroactively. I just forgot how to do it, man. That's crazy. I forgot how to do the wrench. Let me see. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I figured out. I'm just getting back to all this stuff. But yeah, man, I was just, but it was just killing me that I start hearing the narratives about um Bud Crawford when he fought Israel Madrimov, right? And it's a good point that yeah, what I'm saying, he did not go in there and dominate or knock out Israel Madrimov, right? You know what I'm saying? But that does not mean we all know that style make fights. You know what I'm saying? Speed kills, you know what I'm saying? So I do believe that you know, Crawford has a chance, despite how he performed in the Maginot fight. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he wanted Canelo to see that shit because he was just getting back after a year layoff. He's breaking off the rust. And let me tell you something. There are some fighters, that's all they need is one little fight, one little warm-up fight. When you talk about those athletes like Sweet Pea and you're talking about Floyd Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? All they need is a little tune-up. Floyd came back from 2 years and beat Juan Marquez. Remember that fight? And he looked like he never missed a beat. You know what I'm saying? You know, Crawford is not a Floyd Mayweather. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. He is definitely not. He's definitely not no damn Mayweather. But let me tell you something. Crawford can fight, y'all. He can fight. You know what I'm saying? I give it up to him. He can fight. You know. I think he's better than Canelo. Um, when it comes to his style, when it comes to his adjustment ability. Canelo makes some smooth adjustments too, but he got so much power. It's almost like if you're born with power, it's almost like it's a handicap on the skill side. You see what I'm saying? Because with skills, what I'm saying, you have to make up for the lack of power. You see what I'm saying? So you can clearly see coming from the light division more skill because they have to put more effort, punches, they have to be more clever, they have to use timing, precision, and all this kind of stuff. So to me, what I'm saying, Crawford is the one who had to, and Canelo, he came up from the lighter weight. You've seen how he looked when he was a whole lot lighter. He had a lot more speed, lot better footwork. Now he's an older guy, even though he's younger than Crawford. His body, he started boxing when he was 15 years old. So that's an old man, what I'm saying, in a young man's body because he's been cracking guys in the ring. And then Canelo got knocked down, almost knocked out years ago. Um, a lot of people don't know that when he was still building his name under those 40 fights. Um, so he's been through a lot, man. That's a lot of sparring. That's a lot of training camps. Said to have gone through. So his body, him and Crawford, to me, I think their bodies are very similar. And you know what I'm saying? Because Canelo been fighting a lot longer. And what's going on, Hood Champion Boxing and Sports, my boy right there. Come on up, Hood Champion. What's up, boy? I've been waiting for you to come through. What's happening, Hood? I love your videos, boy. You be having me rolling sometimes. Ow. Boy, that boy be, but you be on point though. With some you be way off too now sometimes. But you know, what's going on? Yeah, but yeah, man. So they're trying to use that fight, you know what I'm saying, to kind of measure what Crawford is at. And I'm saying that I don't think that's a, you know, you can look at it and say, you know, Crawford, you know, that guy took him to the task. But I thought like once you seen the fight play out, I'll say like I think Crawford started getting control around about round 10, you know, 9 or 10. You start seeing Crawford stop, you know, just start breaking down. You start seeing Madrimov break down. He started getting caught a whole lot. He slowed down around the eighth to the ninth. He started slowing down. He started kind of, you know, getting a little, you know, dirty, you know what I'm saying? His form wasn't as, you know, crispy, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't as difficult, you know what I'm saying, with the feints and stuff. He was too tired, bro. He had been jumping around the whole fight. And Crawford, he saw the signs and he started going to work. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, it's not like a 15-round fight like back in the day. I think it was like a 15-round fight, man. He would have got him up out of there. Boom. All he needed was a couple of more rounds because I could see Madrimov really breaking down. He's a tough son of a gun, man. He really is. What's going on? What Greece says? I thought Crawfish lost that last fight. Nah, I thought no. Go back and look at it, Greece. You know how I do. You know I dislike Bud Crawford, but he fought his ass off in that fight. I thought his critical thinking skills, the adjustment took him a while because of Madrimov. His herky jerky style really threw Crawford off. But Crawford had to get his timing like he always does. He downloaded the data and he started, you know, instead of trying to do 1, 2, 3, 4 shots, he just started hitting them with a couple of combinations. Here, they'll go into the body, waiting for that head to come back round when it's supposed to come round. He was like doing some really good analyzation in that ring. I was impressed. What's going on, Hood Champion? What's happening? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hood
I can
Champion.
hear you. I can hear you.
What's going on, bro? What's happening with you? I love your videos, bro. You be having me rolling, bro.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, nothing, man. I was just sitting here. I just finished a video and I saw you
Mhm.
were live. I said, let me jump in here and see what y'all talking about, man. So,
What you
am
think?
I
What you think of this? Yeah, go ahead.
what do I think about what?
About the match and about them using his last performance, you know,
Oh,
saying as a measuring, you know,
yeah,
comparison to
yeah.
what he
I
can do
think,
against Canelo.
yeah. I this is what I think. I, I watched when I watched Crawford in boxing. I was impressed, man. How was able recognize one, like, yo, this guy Madrimov can crack. And he was able to stay a step ahead of Madrimov the whole fight. And that's
Hmm.
a quality you don't find in a lot of fighters, the ability to up it. And I was like, Crawford made sure every round he was able to up it. And even when Madrimov landed a couple consecutive right hands, even I was like, damn, you know, Madrimov hitting him cleanly. But you saw what Crawford did. His legs never stopped moving, but he doesn't run. He will retreat. And when he's doing that, he will be positioning his feet so he can counter. So when Madrimov felt like, oh, I hurt him, and he initiated the attack to become more aggressive, Crawford was binging him. So when I watched the fight, I felt like shit. If Crawford can up it like that against a guy, Madrimov, who prepared Bivol for Canelo. See, but Madrimov is not Canelo,
Hmm.
but it's like Boots is not Crawford, but they come pretty close to trying to emulate the styles of those guys. And that's why Bivol has so much
Hmm.
success against Canelo. So when people are saying, well, Crawford struggled against Madrimov, he's going to lose against Canelo, I'm like, hey, yo, hold your horses. What fight did you watch? Because I didn't see that. But I do understand how Canelo's the favorite. I mean, I'm not delusional, but my thing is, if Canelo, this is what I think is going to happen. First of all, they're both training at high altitude, so their oxygen efficiency is going to be through the roof. But Crawford, I just
say it again, Hood. You kind of froze up. Say that again.
You froze up again.
Yeah,
you froze up. Everybody waiting on this knowledge, bro.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just kind of going in and out, but
yeah,
we listening to you. Go ahead.
Okay. This is what I think is going to happen, right? I think Canelo, who's lost a small portion of his Mexican loyal fan base, he wants to undo what happened with Bivol. He also knows there's been a pattern with Canelo in his last 4 or 5 fights where he gets in and he just gets in the cruise control. He's not really trying to knock anyone out. I personally felt he could have got Berlanga up out of there. He tried to get Ryder out of there and he couldn't. But with Crawford, I think he's like, okay, this is a small guy. I can't let him come up here and make me look bad. And I think he's going to find him. He's going to find that, damn, I got a ghost in this ring with me. I can't catch up to him. And he's going to fatigue. And I don't care what kind of altitude he's worked in, what kind of sparring partners he's had. Canelo has a pattern of fatiguing, and I think he's going to be pushing, trying to get Crawford out of there. He's not going to be able to, because Crawford's not going to stand in front of him, man. And no Canelo trying to time. How are you going to time and prepare for someone who's predictable, who's been perfect this whole time? That's all I'm saying. Crawford has plan A, B, C, D, E, and F. Canelo just has one way of fighting. I'm not saying Canelo before hasn't been a guy to have a plan A, B, and C and throw creative combinations. We just haven't seen that. So to think he's going to come in the ring this weekend and from the first second of the first round be able to step on the gas, green light, go, and do that all the way to the last second of the 12th round, I don't see it. I just don't see it. So I got Crawford. Now, I'll say this. The first 4 rounds is dangerous. Anything can happen. Every fighter, even the guys who are CD level fighters, that first 2-3 rounds, even they can knock out a special fighter because they have all their energy. They're not tired. They're firing on all cylinders, and all those guys can crack. But I just think when you get past the 3-4 rounds, and Canelo can't catch up to Crawford, he's going to start free swinging. He's going to start lunging in. He's going to get panicky. He's going to want to demand Crawford stand in the middle of the ring and exchange. Crawford going to stick his tongue out and shake his head and laugh at him, and he's going to get up on the scorecards. The other thing that I think could happen is Canelo may say, you know what, I'm not going to step to him because I got to conserve my energy. And now he may be cool with losing 4 or 5 or 6 rounds because Canelo's about patience. He's about composure because he knows, like Gervonta Davis, I got this power. At some point, I'm going to catch up to you and I'm going to get you out of there. So if he loses 4, 5, 6 rounds, well, now all of a sudden, Crawford doesn't fatigue. So where Canelo is hoping to cash in on beating Crawford's arms, beating on his midsection, now the arms drop, now he freezes, and then now he can land a kill shot upstairs. It's not going to happen. And now Canelo's he's in no man's land, and Crawford is just off to the races. And then Crawford's going to probably be the one to start stepping to him and chopping him down. But that's just how I see it. But I think Canelo's best chance is early in the fight. I think he should rush him. How Daniel Jacobs rushed Peter Quillen. He ain't even let Peter Quillen think. He ain't even let him think. Peter Quillen ain't know what hit his ass. And that's
Peter Quillen was a bad boy for a time.
Yeah.
For the time.
Yep. But I think if Canelo wants to get Bud, I think because Bud can start off slow because he's all about downloading data, processing data. But I don't think Crawford's going to be foolish enough in them early rounds to move at a pace to where he's there processing data, and that gives Canelo an opportunity to time him and hit him with something. But his best choice to me is just come out and put that Mexican bum rush on Crawford. First minute, just rush him and try to blast him up out of there because I think Crawford, although he going to warm up in the back, I think that's where he may be a little bit cold and he can catch him. But once the first round goes down, the second, third round, and Crawford start picking up the pace, I think it's all downhill for Canelo. But, hey, Canelo, late in the fight, I put it to you this way: who carries their power and snap in the first round and still had that same power and snap in the 12th round? It ain't Canelo.
Crawford.
It's Crawford.
Yeah. Let's get
So
I
that's
am
just how I see it.
444. What's going on, my brother? What's going on? We finally got Hood
Hey,
champion boxing up in the building, so I had to let him
oh,
do his
oh,
thing.
for sure,
Okay,
for sure. I was listening. I was excited to hear what he had to say. Good stuff,
yes,
Hood
sir.
champion.
And then when he put on that damn fisherman hat on, boy, some knowledge for it to go down. God damn it, I love it.
Oh,
God
for
damn it, I'll
sure,
be
for
waiting
sure.
for it. Go ahead. What you saying?
Yeah.
What you think
So
about it?
I mean, I agree with what he was saying as well. Me personally, I thought the Madrimov fight was a very interesting and very good fight. Actually, it was exciting to me, even though I think people thought it was boring, etc. Because we got a chance to see another aspect of boxing, and I think people fall in love with the highlight knockouts and all of that stuff. We don't get to see other aspects of boxing, meaning that when you have a team that comes with a game plan. One thing that I think that people are underestimating is the game plan of the coaches. And I'm specifically talking about Bo Mack or Terence Crawford's team. That was a team of scientists over there. They're approaching this like, two NBA teams, man, coaches and coaching staffs, dissecting how one team plays. They're looking at every bit of loophole and they're strategizing a game plan. And Crawford is the perfect specimen or athlete to carry that game plan through. This is what I think people are underestimating. I think also, um, yes, I mean, Canelo is yes, he's gonna have the power, he's gonna do all that stuff, but I think they're underestimating the game plan. If you listen to Eddie Reynoso in the Skull fight or in the Bivol fight, they weren't telling him nothing. I mean, for those that can understand Spanish, Eddie Reynoso wasn't telling Canelo no real instructions to make adjustments. So what that tells me is that we get a chance to see what does Canelo do when you're presented with something different. And I don't think they're going to be able to think their way out of that. Where we saw in the Madrimov fight, even though people want to, use the Madrimov fight, the Madrimov fight is a very a unique fight to me because what other fighter fights like a pogo stick? Madrimov was probably the only fighter I've seen of today fighting like a pogo stick. People want to diminish that fight or diminish Madrimov as if he's some nobody and all that stuff. This is another disingenuous perspective. That was a very difficult fight because of the style itself. Canelo doesn't fight like that. Canelo's more stationary, and that is what's going to be a little bit more, in my opinion, a little bit more easier for Crawford to deal with. Not that it's going to be an easy fight, but I think it's just a little bit more easier from uh, dealing with certain situations. Madrimov definitely surprised me. I did watch some of Madrimov's prior fights. He came in to surprise Crawford in that fight because he fought slightly different with Crawford. And Crawford honestly hurt him in like the 10th or 11th round. You saw that. But people don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about Madrimov immediately clinching. They don't want to talk about Madrimov. Yes, even though Madrimov was hitting him with that right hand, what stopped Madrimov from actually going in for the gusto? Well, he knew that Crawford had power and he didn't want to get countered. So he just did the same punch over and over and over, which that was fine. But it was a very good fight, in my opinion. I think this Canelo fight is going to be interesting. And I think that because the magnitude of this fight, Crawford is taking it 1,000 times serious. And they're working out some really interesting plans and strategies as it relates to Canelo. So I'm really interested in seeing it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. God dang, I was trying to make him a moderator. But this fight, man, this fight is building up so sweet. At first, nobody was really checking for this fight because coming from 3 weight classes down is insane, man. It's insane. But you know what? In my mind, I'm thinking if it was any other fighters except for maybe Spence or Crawford, you know what I'm saying, or maybe Charlo or Jamal, somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? I would have said it would be totally impossible. You know what I'm saying? But given the kind of, there's certain athletes every generation that comes along who defy the imagination. Somebody like Roy Jones Jr. They just athletically gifted. Now, sometimes it may not be enough. I'm not saying that he's just going to go in there and destroy Canelo, but when you have look at remember how Sweet Pea defense was. I've never seen anybody else with another defense like that. You know what I'm saying? Not even Roy Jones Jr. You know what I'm saying? Not even Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? He had his own. Every fighter got their own little unique twist when you're a generational fighter. It's things that you can do just because God gave you, you know what I'm saying, the reflexes, they gave you the timing, the instincts in the ring. And I think Bud has that. I think he has that instinct that I've never seen before. Everybody is unique to him. You know what I'm saying? The counter punching is unique to him. And I believe that he's got the gift to walk into the a ring and see and see the ring, see the opponent differently. He don't fear Canelo like everybody else. He don't see power the way other fighters see it because he's inside of his bag, man. He's inside of his craft. Now he could go out there and get knocked the hell out in the first round. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean shit to me. But you know what I'm saying? He also could get in there and start to break down the great Canelo Alvarez with his experience and skills. If he don't get caught early in the fight, the more information Terence Crawford get about his style, about his timing, it's going to be a wrap for Canelo. Unless he start, putting in some Madonna punches in his game plan, where he's going over the top or he's changing the angles on his punches. And I know Canelo has the ability to do that. He can switch it up because he's seen enough styles. But can he catch a Crawford though? You know what I'm saying? Can he catch
Yeah.
Crawford? I'm not saying that Crawford is as elusive as Floyd, but once he see where the punches are coming from, it's going to be hard for Canelo to hit him.
Yeah.
Because he coming from these smaller weight classes, and Canelo had the edge too when he moved up to 168 on those bigger guys because he was way quicker, his hands were faster. This was before he, started
Yeah.
breaking down over time and getting older in the division, and all that weight started catching up with him. What's
Yeah.
going on, What's going on, JB? Let JB get in. What up,
Hey,
JB?
oh, ain't too much. How's it going, Pool?
Nothing much, nothing much. We back on it.
Yeah. Back on what we like, 12 days out, I guess. 12 days out from the fight. We're getting close. Once we get to probably fight week, the grand arrivals and all that, we be real turned up for the fight. But it's a great matchup. I'm just glad that these two guys are gonna clash because I think these probably the two best fighters of the era since Mayweather was the top guy. Him and Pacquiao fought for that throne, and Mayweather won. And he staked his claim that the best fighter of this era. I think that's what's on the line for this fight. Canelo versus Crawford. I think the winner of this fight will be the best fighter of this era. I like what Usyk did. A lot of people say, wait a minute, what about Usyk? Usyk, he done some good work here recently, but I'm talking about like over the last 7 to 10 years. You look at what Canelo's done. You look at what Crawford's done, being undisputed. These guys here are going to put it on the line September 13th. And I think, like I said, the winner of this fight, I think, will be the best fight of this era. So it's a lot on the line. Could be the number one pound for pound fighter status could be on the line, too, for this fight. So it's going to be a good matchup, true 50-50 fight.
Oh, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. But what do you think about Crawford last performance? And look at Canelo last performance. Neither one of them was like, I'm saying, like just these domineering, performances. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was impressed by Crawford adjustment ability, I'm saying? People, it was a close fight, it was a hard fight, but I think Crawford made the proper adjustments in the end, to start coming on and use his offense, to stop pushing Madrimov back, and what I mean? What do you think about, the comparison of the two fights? Or do you think that disqualify Crawford from having a chance to beat Canelo to a majority decision or a split decision? You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
I think it's just two different styles. I don't think Canelo fights anything like Madrimov. And even Madrimov in the Crawford fight, he didn't fight like he fought other fighters. He's way more aggressive when he won the belt off Korobov. The fight before he fought Crawford, he became the WBA champion. He was way more aggressive. When he fought Crawford, he was much more patient. You know, he was throwing one shots. He wasn't doing all that leaping in, throwing those hooks like he did with other opponents. He was just a little bit more patient. I think that took Crawford a little time to make the adjustment. That's not probably what they saw on tape and what they prepared for. So they had to kind of make an adjustment midstream. And as you've seen in the second half of the fight, Crawford kind of pulled away. So I think that's what it more was the case. It was he came in fighting much different than he fought in his previous fights. And that's what made the fight look like it went. But his style is much, much different than Canelo. Canelo is much more basic. I'm not saying he's a worse fighter than Madrimov. He's definitely a better fighter than Madrimov, but his style is much more predictable than Madrimov's style is because the fact, like I said, Madrimov did not fight like he fought in his previous fight. Canelo, we've got enough tape on him to know how he fights. He's been around the block long enough to know how he fights. And I think Crawford would be much more prepared, and the game plan would be much more effective against him than it was against Madrimov. As far as Canelo versus Cole, Canelo got, he won the fight, but he did not look that good. He didn't cut the ring off. He was throwing single shots. He was not as aggressive as he was. It was like that. He was like, okay, I got this big fight on the line with Bud. I'm just going to kind of coast to this win. Don't take any chances of getting injured or getting cut. I'm just going to do what I got to do to get the win and move on to a bigger and better fight. Kind of like what Devin Haney did with Ramirez. He just went in there and took care of business, didn't take any kind of punishment because he was looking for the big fight with Ryan Garcia that was going to take place later on that year. Ryan Garcia dropped the ball, lost to Rolling, and that pretty much foiled his plans. But I think Canelo was in similar situation, and that was on the same weekend when those two guys fought. So I think Canelo's going to be much better than he was against Cole. He's going to have to be like he was when he fought Billy Joe Saunders, Callum Smith. He's on that level, then we're going to have a real good fight. But the Canelo I've seen in his last couple of fights, minus the Skull fight against Berlanga and McGill, that Canelo's not going to beat Crawford. So he's going to definitely have to take his game up a notch to be competitive against Crawford.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to 444, but let me shout out to one of the 300s, I'm saying, KDB Sports and Entertainment. And let me shout out to another 300, Ramen and Emily Jones in the building. What's going on, bro? We back, bro. We are back. What's going on, holy moly? All the people coming back. Greeks, my 300 is in the building, so don't mess around now, I got my boys in the building. All right, 444, it's on you.
Well, yeah, I agree. I agree with the brother. Yeah, I agree. That was pretty much a good take. I just don't get the like I said, the Madrimov is just a lot of people don't realize too when he fought Virgil Ortiz. I mean, Madrimov, unless people think that Madrimov is lying, but you clearly saw it in the match. Madrimov spoke about, obviously having some breathing issues because he was sick. And that he was disappointed in himself, but he still took the fight and, just for the sake of the fans. But but as you can see there, I mean, he didn't get knocked out as well by Virgil Ortiz, right? So, I mean, the guy's a durable fighter. So like I said, Canelo's not going to fight like Madrimov, so that's why I think there's going to be a pretty interesting fight. I believe Canelo definitely needs to come like the Canelo of old, not the new way he's been fighting. He's got to bring out some of the old tools, man, in order to make this fight competitive.
And I think he will. I think he got all the sparring partners. I think he's going to spar smart. He got all the work, all the best sparring that he could use to get different looks, to get the timing. To be able to change it up when he need to. And of course, he also got that underdog super energy stuff going on. But But I think he met his match in Terence Crawford. This is the one time where I don't mind if Victor Conte come into play. So we're talking about, clash of the maybe going on here. So you know what I mean? So, because if we see Canelo standing up between rounds, and we already know that the boy got a stamina problem. And he's just out there and just windmilling and throwing combination. It's going to be interesting to see, what style he come out on. He's not taking his time. He's trying to pick up the early rounds. Of course, Crawford, he's a slow starter also. So it'll be interesting to see if they change. I doubt if they change, you know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't be surprised, man, to see Crawford go straight at Canelo, man. That would be kind of like Hearns did with a Hagler. They say if you feel intimidated, you tend to go straight at, you know what I'm saying? You know, you seen them fighters that be scared as hell and they can just go straight to the guy. Like they used to do Tyson. They'd go straight to his ass because they were afraid that he was going to swing on them and connect. You know what I'm saying? It'll be interesting to see if Crawford stand in that how long he's staying in that pocket, to try to take Canelo confident away, to try to humiliate him. You know, Crawford is that type of opponent. You know what I'm saying? He took a year off. I don't know how much muscle and stuff you can build in a year, how much power, you know what I'm saying, you can gain from a training camp that long. Of course, he's already got a lot of stamina. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can employ a game plan to punch Canelo out, you know what I'm saying, and slip some, roll with some, you know what I'm saying, get in the pocket, get to the bread basket, move, you know what I'm saying? If he could survive that, man, let me tell you something. Where does that put Crawford if he's able to beat Canelo Alvarez, bro? And even not even just that. What if he's able to knock out Canelo Alvarez? That is unthinkable. That is unbelievable. If Crawford does that, bro, I don't know. I may have to take another year off, bro. You know what I'm saying? I may have to take another damn year off, bro. Cause I'm like you. There's just no limit to, you know, because he's not going to stay at 168 and fight David Benavidez. I think it was Joel Diaz who says that if Crawford beats Canelo, then boxing is going to go down because Crawford can't sustain the sport. You know what I'm saying? He's saying that Crawford can't carry boxing on his back. Like he said, he's not going to go fight David Benavidez. He's probably going to retire, or he's probably going to go back to 154 and make some more money, fight Charlo, maybe fight Jamil, and walk into the sunset. Because you know he's only got a couple of more fights. You know, once you beat a fighter of the caliber of Canelo, you know, and that's a tall task because Canelo owned everything in the building. You know what I'm saying? The judges, Tim Cheatham, what's the other guy named? Steve, I forgot what the other judge's name, but
Well,
they've
long
all
as we
done.
don't have Adelaide Bird. Remember Adelaide Bird had that fight or draw with him and
Oh my
Floyd Mayweather.
God.
As long as we don't have her,
Mhm.
you know, that was a travesty, boy. She should have been investigated after that she turned in that scorecard. That was ridiculous.
So Crawford ain't gonna just be. I'm gonna tell you something. Crawford ain't gonna just be able to pot shot him. He's gonna have to put on a consistent dominance performance to be able to beat Canelo, and his fans know it. You know what I'm saying? They know they're not just going to give him a decision based on because you know that you know as bad as he got beat by Bivol, shit, they was trying to make that a thing a draw. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? As bad as Bivol beat his ass, you know what I'm saying? They was about to make that thing a draw. I say, man, are you crazy? And that was like the first fight that Canelo actually picked for himself. Reynoso's usually pick, you know, the style that's needed for Canelo. You know what I'm saying? To cruise through. But Canelo chose Bivol, thinking that he was just an average dude. You know what I'm saying? He misunderstood what Bivol is all about. You know what I'm saying? And Bivol's just a lot better than he thought. And you know what I'm saying? Shit. In this
Yeah.
situation right here, if Crawford it stays focused, you know what I'm saying, and he goes in there and he's able to box and fight and still come out on top. He's able to take what Canelo's throwing. Man, this is going to be the fight of the century, bro. It's going to be,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just glad to be here to witness it. Um, I wish it would have been Errol Smith Jr., but of course, you know what I'm saying? Errol just couldn't. He ain't had the discipline to keep it up. He says, let me see, Crawford loaded glove says, Crawford loaded glove. He says, Madrimov fights like an amateur. Yeah, he does. You know, but the man got power. I love some of I love his off shots. You know, he got some shots that like really really interesting. He was hitting Crawford, bro, really hard.
Yeah, he was
If
hitting
you
them with some
have
good
any
single
kind,
shots. Like you said, he was hitting them with
yeah,
some good.
yeah,
We couldn't put nothing together. There wasn't no combination. He never caught him with 2 or 3 punches in a row, but he was catching him with some nice little single shots. But he was very patient in that fight. Threw Crawford off. He didn't fight like that against them other opponents, but that
oh
showed you
yeah,
how much respect
oh
he had
yeah,
for Crawford. He didn't fight
Correct.
Crawford like that. If he'd have fought Crawford like that, he probably got knocked out.
Correct.
So
you talking about Greek ball talking about we wishing upon a star like twinkle twinkle little star. Hey, I hear you, but you know what I'm saying, you over here listening. You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't worried about it, you wouldn't be in this damn chat. You know what I'm saying? Listening to what's going on. He says Crawford always starts. So yeah, they and Canelo. Canelo never starts fast. He says Andre starts fast. Andretti starts fast. He would run at Canelo like he did Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? Andre, he wasted a lot of time at the zone. He wasted a lot
yeah,
of his potential and a lot of his career messing around with that cannon fodder over there, and they kept him away from Canelo. And I think he would have dealt with Canelo too, because he had that style, man. That dude could hit. You know what I'm saying? He was long. He says,
yeah,
KD Sports says,
very long.
oh, he's talking about it. Yes, sir. He said we wish to put a start. That boy crazy. He says, let's see. He said, I think that if that bag is right, he would fight Benavidez. Man, he talking about $200 million, bro. Canelo's talking about $200 million to fight David Benavidez. I'm like, bro, stop. Stop. $200 million? Now the Turk might have that kind of cash. I don't know. But
Yeah,
that is ridiculous.
Canelo. He got I think he got a 3-fight deal with Turkey Ali Sheik. So if he beats Crawford, he's talking about him, he gonna fight Shiraz, Hamza Shiraz, the guy that knocked out Berlanga. He'll fight him in
Mhm.
February of 2026. And then I think he'll probably fight maybe Eubanks Jr. in October 2026. I think I read that when he signed that 3-fight deal. So that's what it to line up if he wins. Now, if Crawford wins, Crawford might retire. He might try to get a rematch with Canelo if Canelo wants it. Maybe if Canelo don't want it. I don't know what Crawford would do. Maybe they, Shiraz is Turkey Ali Sheik's boy, so maybe they make Crawford Shiraz. Maybe they make that fight. They put that fight maybe in the UK, maybe over there in Saudi Arabia, maybe here in the United States, in Vegas somewhere. So that could be a possibility. But it's gonna be interesting when these two guys fight because Crawford is a very aggressive fighter, very aggressive fighter. He is a guy that's looking, once he got you hurt, man, he's probably one of the best finishers in boxing. But he's very, very aggressive. So sometimes in his aggressiveness, he's kind of susceptible to get caught with some shots. He's got to be kind of careful, being a little bit overly aggressive against Canelo. But Canelo, that's what he does is he throws single shots. He don't throw a lot of combinations because, during his heyday in his prime, he had stamina issues. So he changed his style to be a guy that loads up on single shots to preserve his stamina. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to do that because that one shot thing is going to be kind of hard to do with Crawford because Crawford is a great counter puncher. And when Canelo throwing those hooks and stuff like that, throwing those shots that get the much leverage on his power on them shots that he kind of throws wide shots. And that's really right in Crawford's wheelhouse. He throws a lot of short, accurate shots. He'll be looking to, those short, accurate shots in between those wide shots that Canelo likes to throw, because like I said, Canelo likes to get a lot of leverage on those single shots to kind of overwhelm his opponent with his power, intimidate his opponent with those huge power shots. So that's going to be interesting. I just think Crawford's style is going to present a lot of problems to Canelo, who's not a guy that fights at a real strong pace. He fights at a pretty much medium pace. He don't fight at a real breakneck pace. So it kind of fits in with what Crawford likes to do. Crawford's gonna be letting his hands go. So it's gonna be interesting.
Now, G-Ball says Triple G, the hardest puncher at 160, couldn't wobble Canelo. What makes y'all think a smaller Crawford could knock Canelo out? Nobody's saying that he can knock Canelo out. But let me tell you something. It's that punch that you don't see. Crawford is good at setting you up for the punch that you don't see. You know what I'm saying? That's the punch that give you the most trouble. Canelo has a great beard, but anybody could get hurt, bro. He's human. You know what I'm saying? And Crawford he's just got that knack for hitting you with that punch that you don't see, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's a master at that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So don't be surprised if he hurt Canelo. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know what
Yep.
I'm saying? I know people think that's crazy, but it's that shot that you don't see that hurts you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know you think he's a Terminator. And I know you think Canelo is Superman, you know what I'm saying? A Mexican Superman, and he's a bad boy. He's got a lot of experience. I saw those Triple G fights. Triple G ain't all that though. I never thought Triple G was all that. You know what I'm saying? You saw who all of them ducked. Um, in my opinion, why do we accept Canelo as who he is when he's ducked David Benavidez? Why won't he fight David Benavidez if he's the king of boxing? Why won't he? Why did they fight? They force David Benavidez up the way they did Andre Ward against Triple G. You know what I'm saying? Why are they avoiding these guys? You know what I'm saying? And I know
You
what the answer is, but I just wanted to hear what you guys thought about it.
you know what? You know the reason why he don't want to fight Benavidez? It ain't so much as that, he say all he bring is 25 pounds on fight night. Well, if that's the case, you wouldn't have fought Berlanga. Berlanga weighed damn near 200 pounds on fight night. You fought him. But the problem is, with that 25 pounds, he has a lot of skill. He has a lot of talent. He throws a lot of punches. He fights at a pace that Canelo don't want to fight at. Canelo wants to fight, like I said earlier, at a medium pace. He want to fight at his pace. Benavidez not going to allow him to do that. Benavidez is going to make him, come on with the come on, or get overwhelmed and get, run out the ring. You either going to come on with it, or he going to run you up out that ring. That's what Canelo don't want to face. He don't want to face that style. And then you put on top of the fact that he coming in as the bigger guy on fight night. Canelo don't want to have nothing to do with that type of fighter. So that's why he don't want to fight him. The 25 pounds is just icing on the cake. The real problem is the talent level and the style that Benavidez is going to bring to the table. That's the style that Canelo know is going to make him have to come out of his comfort zone. He's not going to be able to fight Benavidez like he fight everybody else, sitting back, throwing single punches, loading up on hooks, overwhelming his opponent with his single power shots. That's not going to work with Benavidez. Benavidez is going to take them shots and still throw 3 or 4 punches after every one punch Canelo tried to throw. And Canelo don't want to be in that type of fight. That's the reason why he don't want to fight him. He ain't going to fight him. Unless they just throw. Only way he'll fight him, that might be his last fight of his career, and Turkey pay him $200 million, and he retiring after this fight. Then he might fight Benavidez. If he see Benavidez is vulnerable in some of his other fights, because Benavidez he finna go on quite a little run at 175. I think he gonna fight Anthony Yard, beat Yard. I think Turkey want to make the fight between Benavidez and Arthur Beterbiev, because Beterbiev is on the same card with Benavidez. He fighting a guy named Nicholson. I think he's one of Deontay Wilder's sparring partners. He's a guy that's at the same weight as Beterbiev. So Beterbiev should get that win, and they're looking to make him and Benavidez, I think like April 2026. I think that's what I heard Turkey say he want to make that fight. So he gets through that fight. That'll be a tough fight for Benavidez. Maybe be a little wear and tear. Maybe he might leave a little of himself in that ring versus Beterbiev. If Canelo sees that, then Canelo might be willing to step in the ring with him. VC, he took a tough, grueling fight that, maybe he might not be the same afterwards. Then he see a little weakness, he might take it then. But outside of that, Canelo don't want to fight Benavidez because his style is all wrong for him. That's not the style he want to see.
What about you, 444? What you think? Same thing.
I ain't gonna lie. Pretty much, he kind of took the words. I mean, I agree. I agree. I mean, 100%.
It's
I
that
was trying
Mexican
to
monster. Is
say it
David a
again.
monster? Is David a
Well,
Mexican monster?
the thing is this. I mean, it's clear. I mean, that's gonna be just the David Benavidez, the size, his style of fighting. Canelo don't want to have to really fight. Like, he hasn't been in a real fight in a while. Let's just be honest. I think Crawford and Benavidez is probably. I think he's underestimating Crawford to some degree. I don't think he thinks that Crawford is going to come in there to really fight. And I think he's going to be really shocked when he hits Crawford and that punch don't do nothing. I think everybody's going to be shocked. Everybody's banking on the fact that, when he hits Crawford, will Crawford be able to take it? But Benavidez, I think Benavidez is a whole entire monster as well. That poses just another level, and it's really more physicality. Benavidez is bigger, and he's relentless, right? And he's like, to me, in my opinion, like a real pressure type fighter. I think Canelo's a little bit of a hybrid. You know, he tries to be a pressure fighter, but I don't think he's really all the way that of much of a pressure fighter. You know, he's a counter. Um, yeah, he knows what time it is. Benavidez is just a little bit too much for him. You know.
Yep.
But that would be the fight. That would be the fight to see right there. That would be the real super middleweight fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be the fight.
That would be the real undisputed. The real see David. Everybody said he was afraid of David Morrell, and I kept saying people on my channel, David Morrell ain't ready. He don't have enough fights. You know what I'm saying? Even with the Cuban style and the Cuban knowledge that he has and the athletic ability, he don't have the pacing right. You know what I'm saying? He don't, he looks ordinary, against fighters, journeymen and things like that. And I saw him, I said, man, yeah, you can look good against journeymen, but when you start going up into the Bivels and Better Beeves, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother class, man. And so he picked on David and act like David didn't want to fight him. I said, man, David would fight anybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? David is my favorite fighter right now. You know what I'm saying? Because that dude, he will fight anybody. He ain't ducking no smoke. And you know what I'm saying? He deserves that Canelo fight. Um, you know, Crawford, you know what I'm saying, win or lose, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna be all right because he went up 3 weight division. That's his inbuilt excuse if he goes out there and get knocked out. So he has nothing to lose. And the most dangerous fighter in the world to fight against is a fighter who has nothing to lose. Kell Brook went up and fought Triple G. You know what I'm saying? Got his eye cracked. It was okay. You know what I'm saying? Now he had
Well,
a built-in,
wasn't wasn't was
excuse.
but wasn't that the fight that Eddie Hearn pushed? He moved Kell Brook up because the other fighter, I guess, to save the card. Isn't that fight?
Yeah, that
Well,
was that fight. Remember, he
Yeah.
supposed to
See.
well,
fight Eubanks
I
Jr.
don't remember what the
Yeah, he was
reason
supposed to
was, but
fight Eubanks
I
Jr.
know Kell Brook was mandatory. I mean, Errol Spence Jr. was his mandatory for the IBF, and he didn't want that smoke. So he, but he didn't vacate the belt because he came down and defended it, of course, and we all know the rest was history because that was a hell of a fight with Kell Brook and Errol Spence Jr. But it looked like he went up there, you know what I'm saying? Because I think if he would have beat Triple G, he would not have came back down. I don't think he would have came back down if he would have beat Triple G to defend the IBF. I don't think he would have. Let's just keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Why would you? You know what I'm saying? If you beat Triple G, so. But a lot of fighters do that. You know what I'm saying? They digress and they go to another weight division. You know what I'm saying? And you have a built-in excuse. You know what I'm saying? Because you jump weight classes. Crawford. You know what I'm saying? He has options now. Let's say Canelo go out there and beat him down, beat him to a pulp. Nobody really is gonna blame Crawford because the man, he came up from 3 weight classes. So it's a beautiful position that Crawford is in. Long as you don't go out there and make a bad showing. Really, when you coming from 3 weight classes, all you have to do is hold your own. You know what I'm saying? Because what I'm saying, all the expectations are on the champion. You know what I'm saying? All the expectation is on the bigger guy. You know what I'm saying? So Crawford, whatever he can do in there, he go out there. If he can go bring it down to a decision, it's going to look bad on Canelo. And I'm pretty sure Canelo weighed all this. You know what I'm saying? But the money was just too sweet. You know what I'm saying? The money was just too sweet that Turkey was offering, so that he had to take it. It was either that or everybody going to keep pressuring him to fight Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he's tired of that.
Yep,
He
yep,
says,
yep, yep.
so he had to get that Benavidez pressure off his back and get into a contract. But he got a line of mugs, people that want to fight him. So so he can always avoid fighting Benavidez. Benavidez, he's moved on with his career. I think he's fighting Anthony Yard,
Yep.
and which is going to be a pretty interesting fight because Anthony Yard is a decent fighter. He gave Crusher all he could handle, but he's a 6-round fighter. You know what I'm saying? Once that 6th round come, all his energy is just gone. You know what I'm saying? He's got the beautiful Philly shell, half Philly shell, you know what I'm saying? He got quick hands, you know what I'm saying? He's too muscular for one thing. I think those muscles just sap his strength. You know what I'm saying? And like Zab Judah, you know, around about round 6, you know what I'm saying? He just flatline. You know, he just have nothing left. You know, I don't know if he needs to change his pacing at 175, or he just need to slow down a little bit, because he just be gassed out. He gasses out a lot, like Canelo used to. He says
Yeah,
Bud
like
is
Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant, he a 6-round fighter, you know, like Caleb is. That's Caleb Plant's problem. So he
what they call
gonna
him a front. They call him front runners. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
front
He's a
runner.
front runner. It says
Yeah.
Bud stopped Canelo in
Most
11 breezy. Okay, go ahead, bro.
most fighters that come from the European, they 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 don't they can't go 12 rounds because they work more so with weights
Hmm.
than actual conditioning.
Keep it going, Trip.
You know.
Warren G. Keep it going for me because I got to go cut off my truck. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, so Anthony Yard is, he's from London, and most European fighters, they don't do a lot of conditioning. And matter of fact, I'm just gonna say it's a lot of fighters nowadays that's not really into conditioning. You would, like the old days, and like I think Floyd Mayweather was one on high on conditioning, and now you got Terence Crawford on TBC in the building. He does a lot of conditioning, but he a gym rat. He more like a Kobe Bryant or stay in the gym.
Yeah.
That's what he loves it. I mean, he don't go smoking, he ain't into the partying life. So his boxing mortality, it lasts a lot longer, like a LeBron James. He spends money on his body and his health so that he can last in the basketball world a little bit longer than a lot of other players. But I guess I've been following Terence Crawford uh, for a long time now. Back when he was fighting Gamboa
Yeah.
and
Remember
Postal.
when he made his debut on HBO, he fought Prescott. Prescott was the guy that
Yeah,
knocked out Amir Khan, beat him, I think it was a last
yeah.
minute replacement too, beat him at 140. So that's when I first seen him. When you first seen him, you're like, yeah, this guy here is something special here, man. This guy here, I don't know where, because he kind of
He's
came
a
out of nowhere.
throwback.
That's my
He's a
first time
throwback.
seeing him. I was like, man, this dude here is nice.
Yeah, it remind me of Hearns and Marvin Hagler type of boxer mixed together. He got that combination.
Yeah.
But I just want to say this: Canelo, he went up 3 or 4 weight classes because Canelo started at 140
Hmm.
Yep.
when he
So did.
started his career. So it's not like it's impossible for his Terence Bud Crawford standing. I mean, his regular walk around weight is 168. Instead of him having to cut muscle, all he have to do is just build muscle. Make sure it ain't fat. You know what I mean? That 168 fat.
Yep. He had to worry about trying to cut a lot of weight. He could just worry about his, training, working on the game plan,
Yeah,
and
right,
cleaning up his,
right.
the any weaknesses that he has. He's got to worry about that during camp. That's a one thing you don't have to, you could kind of take off the table. You ain't got to worry about that. So it's gonna be very interesting to see,
I,
because
I'm I'm
the both fighters.
surprised that a lot of boxers haven't picked up the blueprint of what he's doing in his trainer room, because he just don't use one. Even though Bomac is the head of it, he has 3 trainers that really train him and coaches him, that's on his ring side, that 2 eyes, the 6 eyes is more than 2 eyes, better than 2 eyes, but it's fascinating to see how that whole little thing work out for them, because he got 3 people talking to him over in this corner.
Yeah, he got like you say, Bomac, he's the lead trainer, and Bomac's the one's gonna come up with the game plan, looking at the tape of Canelo. And I do believe that he does have the advantage in the corner over Canelo. I rate Bomac higher than I rate Eddie Reynoso. So I think he does have the advantage. You look at the game plan they had for Spence, which was flawless. you know, his game plan in head for all his fight. The man's undefeated. He ain't lost. We seen Canelo lose before. So that's another thing.
Right.
People, when you got a guy that lost before, and I seen in that Bibble fight that he got to a point where he knew he couldn't win. He kind of waved the white flag. He ain't getting knocked out or nothing like that, but he kind of knew he wasn't gonna win the fight. He stopped trying to find ways to win the fight against Bibble. That's one thing we ain't got to worry about with Crawford. Crawford, if he is having a hard time, if he is losing, he ain't gonna just wave the white flag. He ain't gonna just submit to Canelo. He gonna still be trying to find ways to win that fight. Try to switch up whatever he's doing, going from playing B, C, D, E. He gonna go through the whole alphabet to find some plan that'll be effective against Canelo. That's one thing that we know about Crawford, man. He ain't gonna pull no Jamil Charlo. That's for sure. He gonna try to win from round 1 to whenever the fight ends. He's gonna be trying to find a way to defeat Canelo.
Yeah, his boxing IQ is off the chart.
One thing about it, you know, running back away from Canelo don't work. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work. So I believe that we're going to see something different from Crawford. I think we're going to see him try to push Canelo back. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be using his hand speed, sharp, accurate shots. You know what I'm saying? You know, say just outpoint him to the point where, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna have to take some chances. It's gonna be something like that because I seen how remember Billy Joe Saunders. Remember that Billy Joe Saunders fight? And Billy Joe was just backing up and he was just, you know what I'm saying, corralling him with the left hook, faking the left hook, coming, just banging him on them ropes. That's what this fight's going to look like if Crawford keeps backing up and trying to escape. You know what I'm saying? You know, Canelo, he's pretty smart when it comes to, you know, banging that body and getting those shots in when you're trying to escape on the outside. Charlo got away with it. You know, but he did get dropped.
He got dropped. Yeah, Canelo does a good job. Yeah, well, how you drop Canelo? Canelo, I'm giving Canelo credit. He does a good job of throwing those wide hooks to the body. He's trying to get you to drop your guard, and he's gonna fake like he can go to the body. He's gonna come up at the top and catch you with a headshot that can possibly knock you out or knock you down. So that's what he do. He's trying to go to the body because he's trying to get you to bring your hands down.
It gives him a chance to load up. Have you noticed it gives him a chance to load up? You know what I'm saying? Because he throws where he thinks you're gonna be, but it gives you, but because he hits so hard and he got fast hands, he loads up. But you think he's gonna throw a hook, you know what I'm saying, to the body, but he throws it to the head. You know, he conditions you. You know, the way he did most of his opponents, and I was just like, man, it's like when are they gonna catch on to that? That is something that I believe that Crawford could figure out. That's something that, you know, I think he's got enough movement and pivot ability. I think he could just pivot, you know what I'm saying? Just like Bivol did, you know what I'm saying? But Bivol had that straight jab. He got long, and Crawford got the long arms just like Bivol. I know he's not Bivol, but he can emulate Bivol a lot. He can emulate. He's got more hands. Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look at his last. Let's just talk about the last two fights that Crawford had. Was at 154. He stepped up in weight class. He didn't even go in and warm up to fighting anybody else. He had one fight, but the way, because they've been saying that about Crawford, that Crawford's not strong enough until but you're hearing testimonies by these boxers that Crawford's is a lot stronger than people think. People, he said, no, he ain't stronger than Earl Spence. He break the brakes off of Earl Spence. He owned Earl Spence in that whole fight. He didn't let Earl Spence push him back. So you're not gonna see Terence Crawford running. You don't see him. I mean, if you look at all his fights, you don't see no running from Terence Crawford. You know, but he will make you think. Crawford makes you think in that ring.
Yeah.
You know
what Crawford's good at? You know what he's great at doing? He's great at he's a great counter puncher. But he's great at hitting himself as an offensive fighter. he's great at presenting himself as an offensive fighter to get you to throw your punches, and then he counters you.
Yeah.
He's right. He's in your face, jumping around, giving you good head movement, jumping in, jumping around, looking like he'll throw a jab to say that he'll throw the jab out there to score off there. But basically, what he's trying to do is he's trying to present himself as an offensive fighter to make you think he's about to throw punches. So you're gonna try to you try to anticipate that and throw your punch, and then he counters you. So
Well,
Canelo likes to counter too.
He throws in between your punches, and
Yeah.
he just happened to have a 74-inch reach. Not a lot of fighters got a 74-inch reach at those weight classes, and he knows his range very well. You know what I'm saying? He's mastered his range, so he knows what he can get away with. I just think Madrimov just had such an awkward herky jerky style that he had to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? He had to.
Yeah.
It took a few rounds to figure it out. Now, can Canelo knock Crawford out? Yes. Canelo can knock Crawford out, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Let's just keep it real. The way he throw punches today, he can knock Crawford out. Crawford can get hit with something and it'll be night night Irene. Like Hood champion was talking. If he goes in there and he puts that pressure on, I don't think he can rattle Crawford. I don't think Crawford folds under pressure, and hopefully I think Canelo understands that. So it's going to be an interesting chess match, to see if Canelo can make Crawford fight his fight. I think he's going to come in there with incredible stamina, believe it or not. I think Canelo's going to come in there. I don't think we're going to recognize him on the stamina side. I think he's going to have incredible stamina. I think Crawford's going to be surprised, at the pursuit that Canelo does. I think it's going to be intelligent pressure, and it's going to be he's going to have to make a few adjustments in this fight. I think he will get hurt. If Canelo can't knock him out or hurt him by the 6th round, it's going to be a Crawford fight, because I think Crawford have figured out what he want to do, and beats and just outthink him. One thing Bomat said, I said, well, God damn. I said that is a trainer. He said, don't let them outthink you in the ring, and don't let them outwork you. So he's always, except for that Sean Porter fight. I was surprised that Crawford didn't know he was losing that fight at that point. Of course, he did the incredible.
He was losing on the unofficial scorecard, but he was winning on the other.
Okay.
Right. I mean, that was just something that the
I mean, from what I
commentators
saw,
had.
from what I saw up to that point, of course, Crawford had, they friends, and he really wasn't trying to hurt Porter like that. And Porter, what I'm saying, he really wasn't. He had 1 foot in and 1 foot out type of
Why you say?
situation. You know what I'm saying?
Why you say that? Why you say he had 1 foot in and 1 foot out?
Have you ever seen Porter earlier fights? You ever seen
Yeah,
Porter fight?
absolutely. Absolutely.
in
I
his
saw the
early fight?
fight between him and Errol Spence.
So you're gonna ask me that question, right? You seen Porter fight Earl Spence Jr., right?
Yeah,
You seen Porter fight Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, right?
absolutely.
Did he fight Crawford like that?
I mean, he tried.
Did he fight Crawford like he fought Keith Thurman? The way he fought them boys, he was about to bite their necks. You know what I'm saying?
But
That dude was
He fought
Lee,
Crawford more similar to
and
how he
Lee,
fought Errol Spence.
and Lee, let me
bruh.
say this. Errol Spence had the same trouble that all the fighters before him had too. Even Porter had the same problem. They couldn't figure out Crawford. I mean, Errol Spence ain't had no problems until he ran into Crawford. Crawford creates problems for boxers, bro.
That's what I'm
He
trying to say.
does. That's
Like,
the only point we making. He causes those problems. He causes what you've been doing in the gym to
Well,
be irrelevant.
here's my take on that. Crawford is a well
You went out.
Crawford is a well preserved fighter. Crawford is to me, he's an opportunist like Canelo. You know what I'm saying? He waits and bides his time. They know, just like just like Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Now Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd, he fought tough, all the tough dudes. You know what I'm saying? But Money Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? He pick and chose. Well, yeah, he still fought some tough fights. I got to give it to Floyd. He did fight some tough fights. Madonna wasn't no joke. But they know when to fight. Like when he fought Kell Brook wasn't the Kell Brook that had the IBF championship belt. You
He
know what I'm
was on a
saying?
winning. He was on a winning streak.
Sean Porter wasn't the WBC champion when he
Wait
fought
a minute, but
Crawford. They felt
they
like,
wouldn't
I
let
think it
him
was just
fight.
like a
They
money
wouldn't let
grab
him.
for them at that time.
Yeah,
In
but
general,
they right. But see, that's that
listen,
narrative. That's the
listen,
narrative.
listen. He was doing a podcast.
Okay.
Oh, is it a narrative that he was doing podcasts? His daddy
What
stopped train. He stopped training. His daddy told him to get back in here and work out. He was
the
working out at the playground when he was training for Crawford. You know what I'm saying? In his front yard. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? When you fought Spence, you went and got three or four coaches. You went and trained with, what's the guy name Errol beat up
Sean,
before he fought Brooke? What was that? Peterson. You know what I'm saying? He went and trained with Peterson coach. He went and
it
trained. I
did.
mean, he
It
went
did.
and gave
It,
a death spin of training.
Sean Porter said
You
out
know,
of his own mouth that in this
say that
particular
again, Tony.
training, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sean Porter said out of his own mouth that in this particular fight,
Mhm.
because he understood who Crawford was, he wanted to come with a different approach. And he had, for all the other training camps, he had listened to his father, and he wanted an opportunity to kind of, do like a hybrid where it wasn't just only his father's instructions. He kind of wanted to add something different because he knew the type of fighter he was getting ready to fight. But even with all those training that you're talking about, right? I mean,
Do
that
you
doesn't
remember
guarantee
what
that.
Crawford said? You know what
What did
Crawford
Crawford
said?
say?
Crawford said a YouTuber would never beat me. Crawford said a YouTuber would never beat me.
He was referring
That's what
to,
Crawford said.
he's referring for Jake Paul,
Okay.
man. Come
He was
on,
referring to
man.
Jake Paul, man. Come on.
No, 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 no. When he was talking
Come
about when
on, don't
Sean
do
Porter
that.
was
Don't
doing
do that,
all of
Lee.
this stuff,
No, he
I'm
wasn't. He
trying
didn't
to tell
refer. No,
y'all.
that
Y'all know
that that
Now,
comment,
Sean
that
Porter was
comment,
doing
bro, was for
Sean
Jake
Porter.
Paul, man.
yeah,
I'm
Sean
not gonna
and
let
Porter
you
was
get
doing.
and
away with
then
that,
Lee,
Y'all
and then
Lee.
hey,
Paul, and then
hey.
Lee. Also, too, with
Mm-hmm,
all these training you talking about, Sean Porter had. Sean Porter lost a lot of fights, great competitive fights, though, right? I mean, let's just be honest.
yeah.
We're acting as if all that stuff just put Sean Porter and guaranteed him wins. No, Sean Porter lost a lot of fights. He won a lot of fights, but at the same time, though, that's the narrative. Like when I saw that fight, I saw just as much eagerness to win the fight. The problem is that you're fighting someone that possesses something different. And that's the problem. So Crawford makes some things look easy. That's why the Madrimov fight was so impressive to me. Because that was the one fight where I had to see thinking. Literally. Like, it was a chess match to the highest. But Sean Porter,
Well,
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
let me
I
say
hear you.
this.
Go
Let
ahead.
me say Madrimov. He see a counterpuncher. You can't be aggressive. You got to wait him out because he's waiting you out. You know, when Roy Jones Jr. fought his training partner, he dropped Roy Jones Jr. That's the first time I seen Roy Jones Jr. get dropped when he fought his sparring partner because he knows that Roy is a counterpuncher. He's waiting on you to punch. You know what Madrimov did in that fight was he waited him out and stopped pot shotting him. You know what I'm saying? And he waited. He was patient. You know what I'm saying? That's how you fight a counterpuncher. You know what I'm saying?
No,
And
for
he
sure.
moves. He didn't stay
I
in one place.
understand. I
Mm-hmm.
understand. And you mentioned
Mm-hmm.
Kell Brook as well, right? So can't one
Mm-hmm.
say, I mean, based on your logic, can't one say that Triple G damaged Kell Brook before he fought Errol Spence?
You could say that.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
I
you could
don't
say
agree.
that, but
Look,
did you see?
I don't agree with that
But
narrative,
what
but
I'm
I'm just
saying is,
saying.
this
Go
is
ahead.
this is this is what I'm saying. Did you see how Kell Brook fought in that fight? Did you see
Absolutely.
he fought like a dog? You know what I'm
Yeah, but
saying?
but but also though, you're
Did
taking
you did you
away.
see how Green Machine fought Crawford?
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Yeah,
Right. He fought like a dog. Right?
yeah,
You think
yeah.
Green Machine is better than Sean Porter
Nah, so let
or
me ask
Danny
you this.
Garcia?
So let me ask you this: you said, do I believe Green Machine is better than Sean Porter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stop. Green Machine. Come on now.
Why?
He got a hell of
Why?
a
Why? Why?
punch,
Why?
but
Why? Why would you? Why? You think I'm joking? I'm joking when I say that.
no, I believe you believe what you believe.
I
You know
think
what I'm
I think
saying?
that
But
Green Machine. I think Green Machine had better IQ than Sean Porter. I think Green Machine
maybe,
power. Go ahead.
but you know what?
No,
Sean
no, no, no,
Porter,
no.
let me tell you
Go
something.
ahead.
You know, one thing that Floyd said to EJ, and one thing that resonate with me to today,
Tell me.
he told Errol Spence Jr., you can't keep fighting like that. He said you're gonna have to box like he did with Mikey Garcia. He said sometimes you're gonna have to box. You know what I'm saying? You can't just bulldoze through everybody because
Absolutely.
you keep taking hard fight after a hard fight. And Sean Porter was the same with him. He had that physical style. Soon, if you keep fighting hard, difficult fights, it's going to wear you down. That's why I say Crawford is smart and he prepares, you know what I'm saying, his career because he takes time off and he fights specific fights. He didn't fight all them dudes. He didn't go through the gauntlet. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't fight
True. That's not true.
what's his name that
Elite.
beat him
No,
in the
no, no,
amateurs?
no, no,
Oh,
no, no.
listen,
You can't.
listen. The
You can't
dude that
say
beat
that,
him in the
Elite.
amateurs, man, can I finish the thought? Let me finish the thought. Ugas, he didn't fight Ugas. He didn't
Oh,
fight
God.
uh all them guys in their prime. No, he waited. He waited. You know what I'm
What?
saying? And fought them. Yeah, I mean, come on, we was right
Wait a
there
minute.
going
Wait a
right
minute,
through it.
Elite. Where are you getting this
Yeah,
narrative
who
from?
unified? Who
Well,
unified? Who unified
wait
147?
a minute. Wait a minute, Elite. Wait a minute. You just
Who
thinking about
unified?
$147. Did you
Who
understand
had
that it
one?
came from 130?
Man, who cares about them? There wasn't
What you
nobody
mean?
there.
What you
You
mean? Who's
know,
care?
there
What
wasn't
you
nobody.
talking about?
Ricky Burns, is he a Hall of Famer?
Oh man, see, you
Uh,
can't you just
Is
saying
Ricky
that these
Burns is
guys were
Ricky? No, I'm
champions.
just saying. You got to look at what they did before
Oh
Crawford
man,
and what
come
they did
on,
after.
man.
Come on, Gamboa.
Come
Gamboa
on,
was is
bro. Come
Gamboa a
on.
Hall of
Gamboa
Famer?
was a
Gamble was what?
champion that people avoid.
Yes, he
Mikey
was.
Garcia
But,
avoided Gamboa. Everybody was,
What?
but
yeah,
Gamboa was the
but what I'm saying,
boogeyman.
what I'm saying, y'all, these guys wasn't no special dudes. They wasn't no special fighters. They
No,
wasn't
hear
no.
me out,
They
And
wasn't.
Elite.
Yeah,
who was special at 147? Who was special at 147 that he ducked?
all them dudes. They were close. All of them went
Who's
life
all
and death
them
with each
dudes?
other.
Stop saying all them dudes and give me some
Keith
names,
Thurman.
man.
Well, goddamn, you already know the names. Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Danny
Okay, so
Garcia. Come
why did
on now.
Keith Thurman want to fight him? Why did Keith Thurman didn't? Why Keith
Because
Thurman
Keith
didn't
Thurman
fight
got
him?
broke down. After he had his little super fight with Porter and Danny Garcia, he was broke down, man. I was like, he just didn't want
So
to. He
who
just kind
fault
of
is
got
that?
out of.
Is that you saying that's
I'm not
Crawford's
saying
fault?
it's anybody's fault. You told me to name the names, and I gave it to you, right? But see, when
So he fought
Crawford,
Earl
when
Spence.
Crawford,
Did he
when
fought Earl
Crawford,
Spence? Right.
all I'm
He
saying
fought
is he
Porter.
did.
Right.
Did he go through the gauntlet during that time? Did he go through the gauntlet when everybody was fighting each
Yeah.
other?
He was undefeated at 147. He went.
No,
He
I
look.
said, did
They
he
didn't
go through
want to
the
fight
gauntlet?
him. They did not want.
Man, stop.
Remember the narrative.
Why do
Wait a minute.
well, you know what? We ain't
Wait a
gonna go
minute.
through
Hold
all that
on.
because
Remember, it
we
was
done
top
argued this
rank.
thing
Top
back
rank
and
at
forth,
PBC. Okay, top rank at PBC, right? They didn't want,
bro. I don't
they
even
was
want to.
just
I done argued this
you was
shit
on
so much.
you on the wrong side of the street. You on the
Trust
wrong
me.
side of the street. You remember that? You remember that
Yeah,
narrative?
because he
Okay, so
was. He was with Top
okay, so
Didn't he sue? Didn't he
he
sue?
got rid
Did he
of
not sue?
top
Did
rank.
he not
He got
sue
rid of
Top
top
Rank?
rank, and they tried to
Did he
lowball him.
not sue?
No, they
Did he
wanted
not
him to
sue
fight
Top
for
Rank?
pennies on a dollar. They wanted for him to fight for peanuts.
Bro, didn't he? Did he
When he
not
got rid
sue?
of top rank, how long did it take after he got
Did he?
rid of
Did
top
he
rank?
not sue Bob Arum? You know what I'm saying, for not
Yeah.
getting him the big fights. He shouldn't have
Yeah,
re-signed with them suckers. I thought
he
Crawford was gonna
didn't.
go
He
on
never
over.
did. He never did. After that last fight with whoever he did at 140, I think
I'm trying to tell
147,
you,
which was at 147, he stepped out on his own. He became independent.
bro. I was
And
right
now
there. I was right.
they wanted to pay him peanuts. They couldn't work out a deal. PBC was was blackballing him or keeping them at bay and they try to ice him
No,
out. That's what they
no,
tried to do.
because
Okay,
he
you don't want
remember he went
see.
over there.
I can
He
tell
went
now you
over to
don't
the
want PBC to
PBC.
be
He
accountable
went
for nothing. You
over.
want to uphold they bull.
He went over to the. I'll unmute you because you won't stop talking and let me in.
You love PBC, so
I had to mute you. I don't care if I love him or not. It's just what I see. You know what I'm saying? Because I was there. You know what I'm
Go
saying? I was
ahead.
there.
Let me
And
hear Elite real quick.
hold on.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You know, I
No,
just
you
want
go.
to say.
No, go ahead. You got it. I'm listening. Let me hear you.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because all this stuff here, we done argued over the last 6-7 years. I'm so tired of hearing this shit. I swear, every time we get on Crawford, don't even get on his resume. We know it up and down, backwards. Just we all boxing aficionados, we're just not gonna agree. And I said it earlier because I was over on Marty channel. I said we just can't agree to disagree for shit when it comes to these fighters. You know what I'm saying? Because we just see it differently, man. It's just
we
like
don't want to hold certain things accountable.
Can I respond?
Go ahead.
See, my issue with what you're saying, Elite, is this. On one hand, everybody knows that what made PBC special was the fact that they had all the top fighters. Would you agree?
are we gonna go back over all this? You know what I'm saying? It's
Okay,
like
all
I
right,
said,
never mind.
I don't
Okay,
want to go back. I don't want to go back through the history because I argued so hard. If you go back through my archives,
I got you.
We had screaming matches about
Well,
this
then
thing.
I'll just say this, and I'll leave it at that. Everybody knows PBC had all the top fighters. They controlled a certain division. It is well known that they were known for making in-house fights, majority in-house fights. And if they didn't make in-house fights, like an example is when they sent Martin over there to Eddie Hearn, right? When they could have kept Martin over there and they had Wilder just go ahead and grab that, right? But no, for some reason they didn't do that fight, which didn't make any sense. But Eddie Hearn, it is what it is. So it's just from a business perspective, that it was trying to control that division. And so if you want to come and play in that division, you had to come and take pennies. This is just a known fact. So
yeah, it was the start of all these damn promotional companies, saying trying to monopolize. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Everybody was trying to monopolize and stuff.
So when you say things like he didn't go through the gauntlet, I think factually, what you're saying is
did he? When his contract was up in 2018?
No. I'm here. No, I'm hearing what you said because I don't want to keep it going like you said because I know you said you already argued about it. But what I'm saying is that I'm talking before the contract ended. The bottom line is that PBC controlled that division, so it was already difficult to make the fight. When the contract ended, he could have gone over to PBC, but we all know that PBC didn't want to pay the money. So at the same time, he was making a certain amount of money at Top Rank. People try to act like he wasn't getting paid over at Top Rank. He was having a minimum.
He was getting like $4 million.
Yeah,
about $3 million minimum.
Yeah, $3 million. And we know PBC did a lot of back end money. A lot of back end money. They're guaranteed.
He was going to get that. Crawford, the talent he was at the time, he was going to get that and more, especially whipping ass coming over there, taking out.
But PBC wanted him to sign. You see, why they allow certain fighters to come over and just and have a small deal, right? A one fight deal or work as an independent contractor. You know what I mean? Look, I'm not signed. I'm just here just to do some business. I got 4 fights with you and I'm out. But they didn't want to do that with Crawford. They didn't want Crawford to come in there and upset the apple cart, clean out all the, it's all about controlling the belts. You know that. That's what the value for the promotional companies, that's where it's at. And you got a player that's going to come over very similar to Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis. They weren't going to let Shakur Stevenson go over there.
No, bro. That's smooth. That's smooth 444, but that shit ain't for the fly.
They did it for Canelo. They did it for Canelo. They
played Canelo. That's where I was going. They
played Canelo hand over fist,
Thank
just for a
you.
couple of fights. He didn't even
Thank
have to. He
you.
didn't have to sign with them for so many years. He just look.
Yeah.
Just give us
Yeah,
because he was the cash cow. So
but
Crawford,
but
like he
is
being
but Bud
okay.
Crawford ain't no damn Canelo.
See how
Canelo
you
is
think?
one
You
of
see how
them
you are, elite? You see how
you
you
know
are, elite, right?
at
You
the
see what you're
time.
saying?
No, listen. What I'm saying
That's
is
the
facts,
point. That's
though.
my
Come
point
on now,
right there.
Canelo. This is facts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no Canelo fan, bro. You know what I'm saying? But Canelo he was trying to bring those viewership to the PBC. He was trying to bring them eyes and to be able to get a Canelo at that time who needed some competition. You know what I'm saying? That's why they brought him in for that deal, just to get him in because of the commodity that he was. You know what I'm saying? That's all
Where's
that was.
PBC
You know
now?
what I'm saying? Well, they
Where's
dead, I
PBC
guess.
in the thick of things now? Where they at now?
Bro,
They at
you a
the bottom.
toxic ass nigga, ain't you? You toxic as hell,
Oh
bro.
no,
You know what
no.
I'm saying? But you
So
know,
now I'm toxic
it is
now.
what it is.
I just, I
You
just, I
is.
just
I
want
mean,
to let you
because
know, no,
listen,
because they was
listen to
lowballing
how
a
you
lot of
sound.
fighters.
You
They was
act like that
lowballing a
mean.
lot of fighters. They was
You
paying,
act
they was
like that
paying these
means something.
fighters peanuts, and you want them to get paid.
PBC had.
You just like
Oh, you
her.
just gonna keep talking. Look, look here.
Uh-huh.
PBC had his day. Now PBC is over. It is all to it. You don't need to keep on going like somebody loved the PBC. Whoever got the fighters, that's where the boxing fans gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So you can
Uh-huh.
keep all that toxic ass shit to yourself. We go where the fights at. We go where the talent's at. That's all it is, bro. So I'll let you go and just keep on your little
Okay,
rant.
I want hold your hand to the fire, man. I got you. I
You good.
understand.
You can
You
hold
good,
me.
elite.
You hurt.
I'm
You
cool.
hurt. You hurt. You
Hold on, because he gonna keep on talking so I can get in here. Bro, you can hold me to anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a boxing fan first. You know what I'm saying? You can assume and make any kind of accusations that you want. But one thing you're gonna get over here is pure honesty.
No,
That's all you're
I'm with
gonna
you,
get.
elite. But the thing is this, though. I'll be honest with you. I think my only thing I'll say is this: when you make a statement and said he didn't go through the gauntlet, okay. Theoretically, he
He
didn't go through
didn't.
the fight. Oh, okay. I mean, what
If
you
you
consider?
even
You
Sugar Ray
hold on.
Leonard, even
You
Sugar Ray
consider?
Leonard, if
Can
you didn't fight,
I can respond. Go ahead. I'll let you finish. I'll respond. All I'm gonna say is
okay,
this.
even Sugar Ray Leonard, uh,
No, you
if you
good. You
didn't
got
get
it.
the
You got
fighters
it.
in the ring, bro. Right. If you didn't get the fights, you just didn't get the fights. You didn't get that rivalry. He finally got that rivalry with Errol Spence Jr. and he was able to beat him. You saw what the negotiations looked like. The negotiations was a mess, bro. You know what I'm saying? Crawford is a hard dude to get a deal with, bro. You know what I'm saying? It all worked out for him.
The negotiations gave Errol Spence his highest payday and Crawford his highest payday.
That don't matter, bro. It's like
It
what
don't.
look what he had to give up. Look what he had to give up. Y'all look at what y'all want to look at, and y'all take that as a win or a point or a fact. Look what Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. didn't need that fight. He could have went on up to
So
154.
so let
You
me
know,
ask you a
but
question.
he gave up he gave up concessions to make the fight happen. Crawford was the one walking away, going to fight David Evanesian, and then coming back. You see what I'm saying? Y'all not even
Okay.
looking at none of that. You ain't looking at none of that.
So what you
I
saying
mean,
is that
So now
Crawford.
so it's okay to bring you bring up some points. And then when I try to bring up some
mhm.
points, I'm toxic.
I
Okay, all
know,
right.
right? I know. I gotta agree.
But did I say Crawford's on steroids or he got
No, you
Victor
haven't
Class
said that.
and
No,
y'all
you
go into
haven't
all
said
that
that. No,
shit? No, I
no,
don't
you
believe
haven't
it. You
said
know what
that.
I'm saying?
Yeah, but what
No,
I'm
I'm not
saying is
going into
that
all that.
this is what I'm
When I
saying
tell
though.
you, there's no rock unturned, that's why I don't want to go into it because there's no rock unturned in this thing. I'm trying to
Yeah, I
tell you,
know
bro. I'm a
he upset
veteran.
y'all. He upset at y'all when he went in there and whooped Earl Spence ass. That's what happened. And y'all
You see
got
what I'm
your
saying?
feelings. Y'all
You
got
see what I'm
y'all
saying?
feelings after that. PBC got
Ain't
in their
nobody
feelings
in their
after that.
feelings. That thing, what that happened in 2023. We on to a whole. We trying to support Crawford because y'all make it hard with this
You brought up the
bullshit.
fact that he didn't face no gauntlet.
No,
And we and I
don't.
as
Yeah.
a
You keep trying to throw shit. You keep making these accusations and throwing it at me and shit. You the only one here talking about PBC and all
No,
this toxic ass
hold
shit.
on.
All I'm
you
saying
said
is
well, you
I'm
so
trying to
but you
Can I
said
support
say
Crawford.
something?
he didn't face the gauntlet. So
Didn't I just begin the
I
broadcast
have
by
to
saying
point
how
out
hard
I
it
have to
is?
point out
Didn't I,
All,
didn't I just didn't I just begin this broadcast by saying how hard it is to support Crawford when they got these kind of diehard fans that keep bringing up? They cannot bring up Crawford without bringing up Errol Spence Jr. and he's fighting Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? It's
Well,
like, come on now.
Okay,
It's
let's
like
talk about that then.
y'all
You
the
the
one
one that
who
went
want
through
well,
his
to be fair
record.
though,
You the
you
one that
well
said he didn't face
to
nobody.
be fair though, well, to be
But I'm
fair,
finished
you
my
brought up the
thought.
gauntlet elite. You brought up the gauntlet elite. None of us brought up the gauntlet though. You did.
Somehow we went into a rabbit hole on it. But I just wanted to make my side clear. He's the one talking about all this gutter stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, we could go there, but I done it. We've done it
Oh,
back
wait a
and
minute.
forth.
Oh,
We've
it's
done it.
gutter stuff now. Me saying the reason
is.
why he didn't. Okay, I'm gonna say this. Then I'll just say this. The reason why he didn't face the gauntlet that you thought he should have faced it is because
Mhm.
PBC had all them boxes. Ice him. I'm gonna say that PBC fighters was icing him. Let me put it that way. And I'm gonna leave it alone.
I know. I
Yeah,
mean, you. How many times? Well, let me tell you. Let me ask you this. How many times do you think I've heard that? I mean,
I
do you
think
think
I
you're the
think
first
I think
person? I mean, I'm
I
talking
think
about
you've
just
heard it a
me.
lot of. I think you've
I
heard it a
have
lot
been
of
on
times.
YouTube. I have been on YouTube for about 10 years, but probably about 12, probably about 12 years. You know what I'm saying? How many times have I heard that? Y'all be rattling this stuff off like it's the first time and all of us in here are boxing aficionados, all in the chat,
Well, you brought up that he didn't
everything.
really face
We've
nobody.
heard
That's
you
what you brought that
talking
up. So
for
Yeah,
I
you
had
stop
to
brought that
saying
bring
up,
like
that
it's
elite.
up
something we
instead.
heard for the first time. Stop
And no,
saying I
but you
brought up
brought that
this,
up,
bro.
elite.
You up here bringing up. Y'all keep telling me I brought up this, I brought up that. I'm just
No,
going
no,
off.
no.
I'm
In all
just going
fairness,
off what
elite.
y'all talking about. You know what I'm
No, no,
saying? And
no,
I'm just
elite.
trying to
No, in all
put
fairness,
a end
you
to it
no,
so
no,
we can get
elite.
on to
In
the
all
next thing.
fairness, no, in all
Mhm.
fairness, we'll move on. But in all fairness, elite, you mentioned the fact that because Terence Crawford was able to preserve himself because he didn't go through a gauntlet, that's the reason why he is, what he is today. Because he didn't.
It's unnecessary because it's true. I mean, it's
Yeah.
true. He's
We're just
well
gonna agree to
preserved.
disagree. We're gonna agree to disagree, but we can move on. It's no problem. You know what I mean, guy?
I mean,
We're gonna agree to
I don't
disagree.
understand how people can't just see that. I mean, come on. I mean,
Because that's
the
because
man.
you perceive those fighters to be gauntlets. I don't. You think Keith Thurman lost to a old Pacquiao. Sorry, that can get out of here.
Oh
Sean
my
Porter
God, bro!
lost. Sean Porter
One
lost a lot of
time
fights.
Thurman.
As
Keith
like
one time Thurman was what?
listen,
What you call?
I'm not. Keith one time. Listen, Keith one time Thurman was ducking Errol Spence. So why that fight never happen? Can you tell me?
What we talking about? Y'all always that flag, bro. It's like you just called this man something, and oh God.
You see,
Okay, we're
the
not gonna go.
passion come
We're
out.
not
That's
gonna go
that
back in.
passion.
I'm going back into 2019. Goddamn it! Don't make full
He got the
carnival go back into
passion. You know,
2019.
the
But
love is deep.
hey,
That's that
but you know
love,
what?
bro.
Danny
I can
Garcia
tell
was
that.
nobody. Once Danny Garcia moved up, he was
Oh,
horrible at the way when he moved up. Who was the gauntlet to you? Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Keith one
I'm
time
not even
Thurman,
mentioning
Danny
you know
Garcia,
what the gauntlet
Ugas. I
is. You
mean,
know what it is. You know what it is. I don't. If you're gonna downplay everybody that was at the PBC, we just disagree. That's all. You know what I'm saying? If
yeah,
you just
I'm
downplay
not
everybody,
downplaying it. I'm not downplaying it. I'm
yes you
just saying
are.
that there are.
Yes you are, bro.
I'm
You
no,
just
I'm not.
did.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
no, no, no. What I was saying is that you perceive it to be a gauntlet because that's how
It
PBC
is a
marketed
gauntlet.
those.
Could you beat them? Could you go in there and beat them?
Oh, God.
Could you beat them?
Uh,
No. Them dudes
no,
was
I'm not a
bad.
professional
Okay,
boxer. I'm not a professional
no, we
boxer.
gonna we gonna
No, I'm
go to
just saying.
Canelo
Y'all trying
Crawford.
to
We gonna deal with
downplay
Canelo
the
Crawford because it's
PBC.
gonna be
Yo,
it's
we're
touchy
gonna move
right
to
here.
Canelo Crawford. No problem.
Go
We
ahead and
move to Canelo Crawford. I'm with it.
let me mute you guys because y'all laughing and shit. You know, so let me get my goddamn points off because I never mute anybody on my channel, but y'all just keep, you know what I'm saying, speaking over me. So what I have been on this, I have been covering, you know what I'm saying, the PBC, the welterweight division, all these really divisions. But, you know what I'm saying, just because y'all have y'all perception on it, don't, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't lessen what I see. You know what I'm saying? And just from my perspective, I thought the PBC for a while ran boxing. You know what I'm saying? And Crawford didn't get in on that. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't do it. He went back to the top rank. Like I said, I don't want to get back into it, but you know, just because I got two Bud fans on here and
PBC was hands down.
we try.
PBC was hands down PBC was hands down
Yeah, y'all haven't
putting
stopped talking yet.
boxing putting boxing on the map. I totally agree. I totally
I
agree.
agree too. I agree too.
Right.
I'm not right. I'm not.
That's what
That's
I'm
not.
saying.
But at some point, that money.
Now everybody's sitting. Everybody's sitting, and it's not just the company. It's not the
No,
company. It's the
we
fighters they
associate that
had
with
at the time. At
PBC
one
though. We
time, Top
associate
Rank
them.
had. At one time, Top Rank had all. Let me. At one time, Top Rank had all the welterweights. You know what I'm saying? All the 154 pounders. You know what I'm saying? At one time, they was the PBC. They were the shit. You know what I'm saying? And then it switched over. So it switches over. So some people, you know what I'm saying, just because you like one fighter, you know what I'm saying, for you, you know what I'm saying, it's like that's who you cling to, you know, wherever they go. But but boxing, you know what I'm saying, it's like sometimes Top Rank got all the fighters, sometimes another company got them. It just don't matter. You go where the talent at. That's what I'm saying as a boxing fan. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not about being loyal to a brand or a promotional company. It's about who got the fighters. This is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? So, you could pick at the PBC, you could pick at Top Rank, you could pick at Matchroom. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Everybody goes to where the talent is. You know what I'm saying? Is what I'm trying to get you guys to say. So when I have
They go
Mexican
where the
fans coming, I'm
money
gonna have this
is.
right. Oh well, I'm talking about where the talent is.
P-
You know what I'm saying?
no,
Whoever
they
got
go
the
where the
talent,
money is. PBC had the money at
they
the
go.
time they was running.
Right.
And
Well,
that money
you
got a
could
little
make
tight, and the PBC boxers was starting to be some of the good boxers like the Gary
Thank you. Antoine
was
Russell.
the yeah Anton Russell. They was being put on the shelves because now PBC had to kind of manage who they put on the big screen or on Showtime because they started Showtime was starting to do things a little different with how they do things with on their end. So PBC had to put some people on the shelves. I mean, they needed somebody like Canelo to come in and help keep that brand their stable alive because they had all the stable. I mean, they had a big stable of good
yeah.
boxers, and you
Didn't
can
they get
list
them
them.
from? They got them from Oscar De La Hoya, stable.
Absolute.
Uh,
Yep.
they
Yeah,
stole
a lot
Tyler.
of
They
people
stole.
because they was getting
Mhm.
dollar, they was getting some money at the time, but that came to an end. So it was a good thing that the Prince or whoever he is came and started making. Now we starting to get these fights. We starting to get fights that we want to see. Whereas at time people were ducking because they wanted to keep their old, or they was overpricing themselves. Like Keith Thurman wanted $10 million to fight Terence Crawford. Who's paying
Correct.
Keith Thurman that been out of the limelight for a couple of years $10 million to fight Crawford? Who was gonna put up that kind of money?
Well, we was hoping the PBC would because
And
Crawford.
we was hoping Top Rank or
Back
somebody
then,
could put it up, but
if you
nobody gonna put
remember,
up that money.
if you
He was
remember back
overpricing
then,
himself for Earl Spence.
we remember back then, most people wasn't into the business of boxing. People were still into the entertainment side of it, and it wasn't until everybody started these fights wasn't getting made, everybody started looking behind the scene as to what these boxers were doing, what they were getting offered. I think the internet started coming out big.
Mayweather.
Say what now?
Money Mayweather had a little bit the hand in that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the boxing fans never cared about what was going on with the business or
No,
the
we never
promotional
we
company.
never did. We never did. It
No,
wasn't until
but
Money
then all of a
Mayweather
sudden,
sta-
mm,
started to get into the business side of it. When Mayweather got into the business side of it, and they saw he pulled the curtains behind that now, and plus social media being different. Back then we didn't have social media like we had it, you know. But when Money
right?
Mayweather came in and started making money off getting them residuals off of the seats that I mean, people paying tickets and all of that, and we started to see that how much money he was getting, people was like, man, I want some of that too. And of course
Yeah,
we went and as fans
but as
we
far
gonna look at the behind the scenes of it Cause we wondering now why
Yeah,
we
but
can't get a fight, why we can't get a good fight. Y'all want us to pay HBO, Showtime, $89, and y'all ain't giving us a good fight. Why is that? And so we went behind the scenes too, found out, look, maybe these fights were being overpriced and it ran its course.
but that's what I'm talking about, dog. Nobody cared about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cared about
Yeah,
none of
because we
that.
was
You know
getting
what I'm
good
saying?
fight. We was getting good
Right.
fights at the
But not,
time.
but when we started, everybody started vying with promotional companies. When the zone came through, that's when it really got bad. When the zone came through,
Oh
Eddie
yeah,
Hearn came
definitely.
down and threw down the gauntlet. He said, I'm gonna take over boxing and all this bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And they're not gonna do pay-per-views. What are they doing right now? They're trying to do pay-per-views, right? Um, it's just so, if you've been in this space for a while, what I'm saying, we've
Mhm.
seen the contradictions, what I'm saying, we've seen the hypocrisy, what I'm saying, it's all about business on the back end, but
But
what I'm saying, I'm
the reason
glad
why
that
the
we
fans
got
got involved in it is because the pay-per-views was charging all this money for us not to
what
get these good fights of these
right,
boxers that we wanted to see fight. And so now we want to know now why is the fights not being made? So of course we dig a little deeper. Of course, you got social media now where you can you got Google and all this now. So we content
but
creators or people that's content creators are coming up and explaining to us why we not getting these fights. It's because of the content creators put that out there for us to hear
right.
and to chew
And
on.
that's when we started finding out about lowballing behind the scene, and
Right,
what I'm saying,
exactly.
we start finding out about
From
weight
the boxing
clauses,
content
and
creators.
we start finding out
Yeah,
about things of why fighters are turning down these fights. You know what I'm saying? So it's been an interesting evolution.
yeah.
you know uh that's why we went through this period where we don't have the fights. And let me tell you something though, we got a lot of good up and coming fighters. you know I think
You
boxing
know,
going to
and
be okay. Hmm.
right, and I think a lot of that is because we had to have somebody from another country come over who likes boxing and got money, and willing to spend the money. I mean, now we get to see. I think we get to see should Shakur and Timo match up against each other. So that's a good fight to me. That's a good fight. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Tiafimo and Shakur.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
fight. And
yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that
it's
is it. And that's gonna be a barn burner right there. That's gonna be a barn burner. Because T.O., everybody got their ideas, but T.O. can fight, man. He can fight. I'm with Shakur for the win, but that's going to be a hell of a fight. That is going to
well, yeah, because
be, man.
it's a challenge for Shakur because Shakur's been suspect um of a couple of his fights. So this will at least, if that fight does carry on, let me know if he really like that. Because a couple of his fights he been like his last fight was pretty good, but the couple
Yeah, it's
before
quick though.
that,
You you
people,
you was
yeah.
here when we were battling it out about these fights. You've been on the channel for a long time, bro. I'm so tired of this damn thing, boy. It's like, ooh, Lord. Boy, we used to go at it, boy. Ooh, man. He said, Pool, he says, tail loaded. That let's bet his money over here, saying Bud fans nervous, but get silent when I bring money into it. Hey, money ain't got nothing to do with it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this here is, I think this fight is a lot closer than people think, man. Canelo is who he is. He had the mystique, you know what I'm saying? He's got the mystique of power. Um, I mean, the man is experienced. You know what I'm saying? He fought Mayweather, you know. I never understood that he didn't beat the legend. You're supposed to beat the legend, but 9 times out of 10. We saw Larry Holmes beat the hell out of Ali. We saw the torch passed many, many times in boxing. We saw Oscar De La Hoya beat Chavez. We saw Sweet Pea beat Chavez. We saw the torch being patched many, many times, you know. But Canelo lost. He
Mm-hmm.
lost. I never understood that. How did you come back from that, you know, and get a nation behind you when you got your ass beat with 40 fights up under your belt? You know what I'm saying? Not to pick at the Mexicans, because I think a loss, you can learn more in a loss than you can in a win sometimes. So I think this
Well,
helped Canelo.
The Mexicans support their people.
Yeah, them and the UK fans, they support their fight. Even if they lose, they still support 'em. Look at AJ. AJ has been knocked out multiple times, and they still love him. He's still probably the favorite son over there. So they say
Yeah,
they really support their fan. We kind of throw our fighters away. They lose one, take one L, and we kind of forget about them.
we
Walk
didn't
on
used
to the
to be
next.
like that though. We didn't used to be like that
No,
because
no, we
I
ain't
grew
used
up.
to be like that.
We
No,
used to be. We
we
back Larry Holmes. We back Ali when he lost.
Yep.
You know, we back Sugar Ray Leonard when he lost against Roberto Duran. We was right there. We felt bad as a
yeah.
Thomas
motherfucker
Hitman
Tommy
Hearns when he
Hearn,
lost. Yep.
Mhm.
Marvin Hagler. Yeah, man.
When
Come on,
Terry
man.
Norris got, well, he fought Julian Jackson, but you know they forget about those kind of fighters. You know what I'm saying? I've been around since then watching boxing. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the great
Me
ones
too. Me
get in there.
too. Facts.
Michael McCallum. You know what I'm saying? I go way back. Glenn McClellan. I go back in Julian Jackson. Those super fights, y'all. Buddy McGirt. You know what I'm saying? Versus Sweet Pea.
Mm-hmm.
Roger Mayweather. Roger
Nobody didn't
Mayweather.
really want, man. Then nobody want any. They was ducking Sweet Pea for a minute.
Right,
People were ducking
right. You know,
Sweet Pea.
Sweet Pea was. You know, he was sweet, bro. That boy was in a zone. That boy was in a crazy zone. You see how he beat Roger Mayweather? You see, and a lot of people don't remember that fight that uh, Floyd Mayweather dad fought against Sugar Ray Leonard. That fight where he beat the
Oh yeah,
fuck out
Riley.
of
He's talking Floyd Mayweather Senior. Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather Senior. He beat the hell out of his arm trying to do that goddamn Philly shell, and he beat the hell out of his arm till that damn arm was dead. Oh, it's like, bro, y'all just don't know, man. It's been some and you know, don't forget my
Man,
Mexican brother
when
Salvatore. Go ahead.
Marvin Hagler had to go to the Senate in order to get recognized for a good fight. The stuff he had to go through to get on the map is crazy.
Hmm. That's why he hated Leonard. Mm.
Yeah, Leonard. Yeah, he made. You know, he had. Remember, Leonard brought him to that celebration, thinking that Leonard was going to announce the fight, and Leonard announced his retirement. And he like, I flew all the way over here for this. You could have called me on the phone and told me that you was going to retire. You brought me over here. I'm all dressed up. He never forgave Leonard for doing that. So he always had a disdain for Leonard for doing him like that. So then he said
Well,
Leonard
it
told
was
him that
the
he
it
actually
was
beat him after the first fight. But Leonard said, I ain't tell you that. I just say you always be the champion. I ain't say you won the fight. So he had a lot of disdain for Leonard.
animosity. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it was
animosity.
it was that perceived notion coming from the Olympic. It was that Olympic branding, right? Um, he was the golden guy. You know what I'm saying? Where he had to get it out the mud. He had to fight all the tough dudes. And back then, you know, the journeyman wasn't like the journeyman today. The journeyman back then, they could go 15 rounds. You know, as a matter of fact, I think he fought 15-round fights back
They
then.
can fight 5, 6 times in a year.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
and
We
then the
used to those
money,
type of
then it
guys.
was the money. It was the money that Sugar Ray Leonard had access to. You know what I'm saying? And Hagler had to deal with the little money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had to get the little money while Sugar Ray got the big dollars. You know what I'm saying? Because he was an Olympic gold medalist
Yeah.
and
His
stuff.
first fight. He was making more than Hagler was making when he's having his 30th, 35th fight. He's making more money. Like I said, when he was coming out of the Olympics back
Yeah,
then,
Sugar Ray
when
Leonard was
Olympic
on
boxing was
commercials,
real
bro.
big. Yeah, he made, your debut fight, you was making big time money.
Hmm. So you know, it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. So when the new guys come in here, you know what I'm saying, talking about, you know, they study up on the internet. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more to boxing than you think, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like these guys are not as hungry and they don't come from the same turmoil that those guys. Those guys back then, that's all they had was boxing. And they
So
still
you
did
can,
drugs and everything. You know what I'm saying? They still came to fight. You know what I'm saying? It was
and so
just
you
and came.
can
hmm
go,
Go ahead.
go ahead, my bad.
No, I'm done. Go ahead. What you gonna say, Orange Juice?
And so you can see why we're used to seeing good fights. We come from the era where they was putting on good fights on a regular basis, and
Don
so when
King,
we got
yes,
to
sir.
so when we have to pay $98 to get a trash fight, we scratching our head like, wait a minute, I could do something else with this $98. You know, can I get a
Yeah.
good fight at least? You know, if we putting on parties and it's trash, you got a fighter, so that's where I come from. I come from the age, man, they didn't turn down on fights. I mean, you had all the great fighters. The only fight I thought Sugar Ray should have fought was, I forget the guy name, and it's
And
slipping
Pryor,
my
Oh,
name.
oh, you talk about
and
Yeah,
Pryor,
yes, Pride.
Pryor.
Yeah.
yeah, Aaron.
Man,
But
man,
he offered.
he
But
ducked
look,
Aaron
look,
Pryor, bro.
look.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
offered.
Pryor.
Stop. He offered Aaron Pryor $750,000 to fight. Aaron Pryor turned it down. He said,
Oh, he
"I'm."
did? I didn't know
Yeah,
that. My
he
bad.
offered him
Okay.
because I thought the same thing. I used to say that for years on the internet that Sugar Ray Leonard ducked him. I said, man, but then I found out Sugar Ray Leonard offered him 750,000. Aaron Pryor said that. He said I should have took that fight. And of course, we know how he ended up. You know what I'm saying, with the drugs and everything. You know what I'm saying? It was just tragic, but that would have been a hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? Could have changed
Man.
boxing history. Could have
Yeah,
changed boxing
man.
history.
What Pryor?
Mm.
Pryor wanted $1 million or something. He wanted more than that, huh? That's what it was. He wanted like $1 million or something for the fight. Or why
What
he
did
didn't take?
y'all think when he fought Aguadas? Do y'all think it was something in that bottle,
Alice
that black
Aguelo?
bottle?
Oh yeah, it was
Did he
definitely
get?
something in there. Yeah, it was definitely. Way you can see, you can see what he was saying. He said, "Give me the one, give me that black bottle one I made. Give me that one." So
Mhm.
and he came out, and he ain't never slow down that fight. Usually, even though the greatest condition fighter, they gonna slow down a little bit from beginning from round one to
What's
round
that stuff?
12.
What's
He
that
didn't
stuff
slow down
called?
at all. He got strong if anything.
What's that stuff called that open up your chest? What's that stuff called? You know what I'm saying? That open
Sauce?
you up.
Smelling sauce?
That you can drink. It opens up your lungs and stuff, so you can
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
it's
I
some kind
forgot
of
what they
drink he
said.
mixed. That was
hmm
Panama Jack, wasn't he? Panama Jack. Panama,
hmm
not Panama, it's Panama something, not Panama Jack. I'm thinking about Panama Jack. It's
No, you
Panama
talking about that dude?
Loops.
That's the dude that hung with Tyson, Panama Jack. That's that
Yeah,
gangster guy that was
yeah, that's that
everybody.
gangster. Yeah, hang with Tupac. Had Tupac all thrown up. Yeah, Panama Lewis. Panama Lewis. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so that was one of the fights we never got a chance to see. That would have been a great matchup. You
But
talk about the four
I think.
kings.
Go ahead.
You talk about the four
He should
kings.
have been.
Another
He
fight we
should have
didn't
been
get.
one of. Go ahead.
Yeah, it should
I'm
have been.
sorry.
We could have got there. I wanted to see the Hagler Benitez fight. That's one fight we didn't get either. Out of all the guys that fought each other, we never got that particular matchup. We got Leonard Hearns, Leonard Duran, Leonard Hagler Hearns, Hagler Duran Benitez, Hearns Benitez, Leonard Benitez. But we never got Hagler Benitez. That's the only fight I wish we would have seen too. That would have been a great matchup.
And we didn't get Hagler and Mike McCallum.
Oh
Didn't
yeah,
get it.
body snatch.
He beat Julian Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And now y'all people probably don't know Julian Jackson got over 44 knockouts. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Julian Jackson, the Hulk. The only reason he didn't get his recognition because he fought on Mike Tyson undercards. You know what I'm saying? And that
yeah.
dude was knocking people out left and right. I'm talking about slap out, not like just he was knocking them out cold. He knocked Terry Norris out. I mean, that dude was knocking everybody out.
Putting
You know what
people
I'm
to sleep.
saying? But the professor, they used to call that nigga the body snatcher, the professor. He went in there and schooled Julian Jackson. You know what I'm
But
saying? Y'all go back
we
and
was
watch
getting
that
good
fight.
fights up and down the rank. I mean, up and down the divisions too. I mean, you had the likes of Hector Camacho, you had the likes
Oh,
of
geez.
Chavez. I mean,
Right. Yes,
we
sir.
had some good shows up and down from the heavyweights on down. You know, it wasn't.
Ferocious Fernando Vargas, man, he went out
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
sucker, but he just came out too early, bro, and
They fought
stopped
them tough
bleeding.
fights too early.
Too early. He was an excellent boxer.
Yep. Wasn't he like a
Excellent.
world champion at an early age, like 19 or something like that? He
Yeah,
became champion at
yeah.
an early age.
You see
He
his
fought in
kid?
front of dad.
His kid is about to fight. I think he's fighting on Crawford them undercard. I do
Yeah, he
believe.
fighting Callum
What's
Walsh.
that?
No, yeah, Callum Wash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He
that's gonna
looked
be a
just
good
like
fight.
Ferocious. But I hope he don't do what he did in 2002. You know, I hope he don't do what he did. You know what I'm saying? It's like he don't need it. Go out there, win or lose. You know what I'm saying? Stand on business. You know what I'm saying? Don't do like your daddy did. He didn't need it. That boy had so much talent. He didn't really need it, bro. He just, I don't know. It's just the pressure of the business. You know, Oscar De La Hoya went out there and destroyed him. Jesus Christ. It was
Yeah,
embarrassing.
Do we know
yeah, he
who's
pretty
under
much
the
ended.
undercard for the Canelo fight? Has that been put
Say
out
that
yet?
again.
Yeah, we got
What
it.
is
Got
Do
it?
we know?
Fernando Vargas Jr. against Callum Walsh. That's a
Yeah,
50-50 fight. Two young fighters coming up. Usually fighters at that level don't fight each other. They try to hold out for a
yeah.
title shot, but they fighting each other. That's like an old school type of fight. Two young, strong prospects fighting each other. Just like with Abdullah fighting that guy he fighting on November 22nd card. You know, for that, but they fighting for a belt. This here ain't even for a belt. Then you got him Billy taking on Lester Martinez. That's gonna be a good fight. And Billy might lose that fight. That's a good
Yeah.
fight. And then
Lester
I think you got
Martinez, I hear is pretty decent from coming out of Terence. He in the camp with Terence Crawford.
yeah, he good. He good. He good. He ain't been tested yet.
I'm
He
hearing some
I
great
test.
things about him,
He look like
man.
he the goods. Yeah, I test why he look like he the goods. Now he's stepping up in competition fighting a guy like him, Billy, who's interim champion. He waiting on his title shot versus Canelo. Ain't came yet, but he's a good fighter. Been in there with some decent names, so it's a good step up. But he passed the eye test. I actually think he's gonna beat him, Billy. But it's gonna be a good fight. That
I'm gonna tell you.
might steal a show.
I love Josh Kelly's hand speed, man. I love Josh Kelly, bro. I love the way that boy could throw them hands, boy. I love Josh Kelly, but just no power. You know what I'm saying? Just
So what y'all think? So what you think about Elite it being on Netflix? Do you think that's a better solution than time passed with
we got to
HBO
see.
and
You
Showtime?
know, one thing about Netflix, they don't overextend themselves. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you make, whatever your last bout make, that's what they offer you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever views you got the last time, that's what they offer you because they never overextend themselves, even when they do comedians, even when they do movies, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the director, whatever they made, you know what I'm saying? That's what they're gonna offer you. You know what I'm saying? Um, one thing, they do good business over there.
Yeah,
Not trying to
yeah,
over.
and
Mhm.
yeah, Netflix, they seem like they only they're looking for the big events, the big fights, high profile fights. You see what they doing? They're doing Canelo Crawford, they doing Tank Jake Paul. They did that all female women's card, which was a big event with Serrano versus Katie Taylor 3. That whole card was lit. So they doing particular events. They're not putting on just any fights. It's got to be something that's a big event, big attraction. That's what they looking to put on Netflix.
So are they
So
doing something beyond the subscription model?
now you just gotta have a subscription to watch the fight. You got Netflix, you can watch Canelo Crawford. You can watch Tank Jake Paul. You got the prescription. You ain't gotta pay no pay-per-view. You know,
But we
Turkey
got.
She
Okay.
came
I
out and
definitely got.
said that
I got.
he not doing no more pay-per-views after November 22nd.
Let me ask you
Okay,
guys a
that's what's
question.
up.
What do y'all think about Carissa Shields talking about fighting Layla Ali?
That's just talk.
That's type of fight to be on Netflix. That's what we talking about. The Netflix probably
Mm.
pick that fight up if it get done. That's a big attraction. That's a big event. But Layla ain't fought since 2007
Ooh,
And
man.
or
she ain't
something like
fought
that.
over 20
Ever
years, man. She ain't
18
fought
years
over
since she
20
been in the
years,
ring.
man. It's
Yeah,
been
she look
20
like she in
years.
good shape, decent shape. I seen her doing the commentary to that event. I was talking
Man,
about the
she
all
had
women's card,
kids
but
and
that's the difference
everything,
than getting
man.
back in the
Nah,
ring.
man, you can't call
she done.
Kovalev multi-millionaire. You can't call Kovalev a bum, bro. You can't. Crusher was bad for his time. You know, what I'm saying every fighter got an expiration date, and they get it
Every
going
fight.
when they get it going. You know what I'm saying? Even if it ain't but a 3-fight run. You know what I'm
Man,
saying? Every
I
fighter
hate to
got an
see
extra
Muhammad
day.
Ali get done up like that.
Oh, well, look how long he ran though. Look how long run of a
I
run he
know,
had.
I get it. That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. It just broke my heart because that was my, that was my idol.
Nigga, I
You
saw
know,
the fight and I cried. I cried when he
yeah,
was in
yeah,
that
me
corner.
too. Damn,
When he was in
damn.
that corner and Larry Holmes was just stinging him and he was crying. Larry Holmes was crying. You know what
He
I'm
cried in the
saying?
dressing room after the fight.
He, he was crying. You could see it in his eyes, bro. He did not want to hit him. That was his training partner. You know what I'm saying? Don't
He didn't
fight
want to hit him in
strangers.
the body because he knew
Hmm.
Ali was bleeding blood in a lot of his fights later on in his career. So he knew that he didn't want to go to the body and really hurt him. It was just bad situation for Ali, man. He's past his prime, and then he took them pills. He was taking them diet pills,
Weight
trying to lose that
weight
weight.
loss.
And that,
Yeah.
he ain't had no energy going into that fight. He had nothing. He was a dead man walking. I think he probably would have put on a better fight. He wasn't gonna beat Holmes, not no prime Holmes at that point of his career. But he
Well, he
wouldn't
was
have got
already
beat like
getting
that.
beat up in sparring. You know, he was already getting beat up in sparring and all that kind of stuff. So they already knew what time it was, you know. You know, the man was in decline, you know, after he had that 3-year layoff, you know what I'm saying? Even though he went on to beat Frazier and some fights, you know what I'm saying? He was never the quick-footed guy, you know what I'm saying? He was never that 1966 Classes Clay. He wasn't Classes Clay. You know what I'm saying? You know, with the speed and you know
Just
what I'm
don't
saying?
cry.
Say that again.
Yeah, when he came back, he was much more flat
Gladiators
footed.
don't cry. Y'all giving Ali grace for crying?
Now Larry
Grace
Holmes
for
was crying. Holmes was crying,
no, Larry.
not Ali. Larry Holmes was crying in the
Yeah.
dressing room after the
Yeah,
fight.
man, Larry Holmes. Man, Larry Holmes, you could see he was broke, bro. That fight broke him, bro.
Ali was crying during the fight.
Mm-mm.
Well, he wasn't crying. He just was getting beat. He just couldn't pull the trigger no more. It was just a bad
Right.
situation.
He was just
He should have
yeah,
never took that fight. That fight should have never
yeah.
happened.
I don't even know how they
That's Don King. That's old corrupt Don King, man, trying to squeeze all the blood out the turnip that he could from Ali. Ali
Bro,
should have retired after the third Frazier fight. He probably should have retired for sure. He should have been
how
fighting
can
after that third Frazier
but
fight.
yeah,
but how
that
can y'all
fight took a
say
lot
Don
out of
King
him.
more corrupt than the white promoters?
Well, he didn't
Mhm.
look out. I'm just saying he ain't. He got to make the money, but he should. Ali was talking about retiring after the Frazier fight, but Don King kept knocking on the man door with another fight, big money, and Ali. He had a lot of people that he was taking. He was taking care of. He had a big entourage, a lot of people that worked for him, and he had family, bunch of kids, so he had to continue to fight. But if he really cared about him, he should have told him, "Hey, man, you need to retire, man. After this Frazier fight, invest your money in some real estate or do what you got to do. You're a good speaker, got a good good gift for gab, go around the country speaking and stuff and make you some money speaking, man. Get out the ring, man. You done what you had to do. You the greatest. Like you said, you was the greatest. You should have
Okay,
retired after the Frazier fight.
no
He had
disrespect
to
to you or
break.
your
He had
channel,
to.
nothing like that. No disrespect to nobody on the panel, but how much did Don King offer Ali for the Larry Holmes fight, bro?
8 million. That was a lot of money back then. 8
Is
million
that
for
not looking
the
out for you? Is that not looking out for your brother?
he offered him a lot of money, but he couldn't do nothing. Couldn't really
Wow.
enjoy it. Couldn't really enjoy it though. That's the problem. Man was had bad Parkinson because taking too many punches to the head. Couldn't communicate with nobody. It was just
But
he
see,
got money. It
I
was
don't
good
care
for, I
what
guess,
you
for his
going
kids and
through,
his
bro.
family. He took care of
If I
them.
give you $8
but
million dollars,
Hicks, you don't know about them blank contracts, bro. You don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about them
no,
blank
but
contracts.
I just asked my brother straight up, how much did Ali get for that fight? He told me 8 million, right?
Yep.
Right.
If you don't care, if you care about your brother and you give him an $8 million payday, you don't care
Yeah.
about that person.
Not
Yeah,
if
but
you can't take them punches. You see what Ali ended up like, right? You saw that, right? You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
You
if
saw
I can
him
get
take
you
the
$8 million, I don't care how I
bro,
get it
come
to
on,
you.
man.
I
Did you
care
hear what I
about you.
said? Did you hear what I said?
No,
Did you
I don't
see
want to
him
hear what
take
you said. If somebody give
okay.
me $8 million, they care about me.
yeah, but
You said
that man was already in decline at that point though. He's already had a slight case of the Parkinson and stuff. He was pissing blood. People in his camp knew that. I'm sure Don King knew that. You pissing blood and stuff like that after your fights. Oh man, I understand 8 million, and Ali took it because like I said, he taking care of his family, and I guess he wasn't able to enjoy it. His family was
this
able to
this
enjoy the money.
this new this
But
new
I just think
this
if
new
I was in his
these
team, I'd
new
have told him
jacks,
to step it down. I would have
these
just been
new
looking out for
jacks, they are
myself.
crazy. They crazy if they think they're gonna come up here and talk to me like that, bro. I just told you what the fuck it was. It's like I don't care what you said, bro. Get the hell out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's wrong with them? It's like
The,
Ali.
the
Ali
thing,
took so
the
much
thing,
damage. Did you see those 3 Frazier fights? Did you see the damage that he took?
that's the reason why we don't have as many fights as we did from boxers, because they fighting too much. They wasn't letting their
Well,
bodies, they wasn't letting their bodies recover, because they was, I mean, those boxers back in those days, you had some boxers that were fighting the next day,
mhm,
you know, to make some money.
mhm.
So they had
Yep.
to
Yeah.
cut
Well,
down on that. That's why after
what
you
would you
come out of
say?
fight, you have to sit down for like 30, 90 days.
What would you say Ali's great attribute was? When you look at the totality of everything he went through in his fights, when it came, and I'm not talking about the Cassius Clay because he just had the athletic ability, he had the speed, the Sonny Listons, they were just too slow. He was just the fastest man in the division. But when he got flat-footed and stuff, what I mean, looked like his threshold for pain and his willpower was just second to none. His ability to take a punch, um, it's like he could just when he fought Foreman and he just let Foreman wail on his body until he tired himself out. It was just on a whole nother level, man. It's like that dude threshold for pain was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen anything like it besides maybe Gotti or something like that. Uh, it's been a lot of fighters that could take punishment, but I've never seen anybody be able to take punishment like Ali.
Yeah,
Never
Ali,
seen
man.
it.
Yeah, Ali, like I said, when he came from that 3.5 year hiatus because of the draft, he was much more, like you say, flat footed, sitting down on his punches. I don't know why he did that. I guess he felt that, he had got some devastating knockouts before he was out of boxing. He had knocked out Sonny 1 round, and he knocked out Cleveland Williams and Ernest Terrell. So he was showing that he had the power. So maybe he kind of got infatuated with the power. Say, I'm doing all this extra energy, all this dancing and moving around, and all this extra. I can just sit down on my punches and get these guys up out of there. So I think he made a calculated decision to be a little bit more in the pocket throwing them punches. And that kind
Mhm.
of cost him. That kind of cost him in the second half of his career. That first Frazier
But
fight, that
but
was a
you
brutal fight in
remember
the first fight.
y'all remember how George Foreman beat Frazier? How bad he beat Frazier?
Yeah,
Remember
he
that?
beat him bad, knocked him down like 5 times. That was
I mean, he
to do a
destroyed
champion like that.
Frazier.
I ain't never seen no champion get beat that bad. That was a champion. He was the #1 guy at heavyweight. Just got to beating Ali the first time. So
And
ain't
then
nobody
when
seen no champion
Ali,
get beat like that.
and then when they said Ali was gonna fight him, everybody was like, "Ain't no goddamn way, bro. Ain't no way. Ain't no way." And he figured out how to beat Foreman. And I think it's gonna be the same thing with Canelo and Crawford. I think Crawford has a strategic, cunning mind. He has a team that can see where Canelo's weak. You know what I'm saying? I think McIntyre said that Canelo slows down around the 6th or 7th round. I think they're going to use that. I think they're going to use that. His stamina issues, um, Crawford training at high altitudes. You know what I'm saying? I think they're really going to go for it, man. It's going to be an interesting fight, bro. For anybody who studied these fights like we do, I
Yep.
think mm, the way if Crawford, I mean, man,
You found down, is that true?
I'm gonna have to give it to you guys. I'm gonna have to come back on here, pull counter box, and have to say Bud is the goat. I'm gonna have to give it to him. I'm gonna have to give it to him. As much as that, you know, I don't like that shit, but I'm gonna have to give it to y'all. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to
he
give it
going.
to
I
you.
think he be the best fighter of this era. I think this
I'm
fight
gonna have, I'm
represents
gonna
the
have
one of
to
this
give it.
fight to be
I will have
the
to
best
give it
fighter
up
of this
to
era.
if he beat Canelo and he could go out there and do his thing and figure out a way to dominate Canelo. I'm gonna have to raise my glass and say, man, this dude is different. Um, this dude different, man.
Hey, pull counter. One thing, an analogy I like to use, an example, right, is like, has anybody ever met like a genius that's like in the hood, or that don't have certain advantages or resources to be able to display their genius, but you know that they're a genius. They're just gifted, but they're just in the wrong environment that you don't get to see their genius on display. That's kind of how I see Bud. And that's why I think Bud shocks people, because you don't really expect to see it. But then when he gets the opportunity, he gonna show out. And that's where I think, like, me personally, I think that's what makes him slightly a little different. You know what I mean? And that's why all the resume talk and all that stuff, it don't matter to me, because you know what you're looking at when you see that person in the ring. You be like, okay, nah, yeah, even though he hasn't had all these other opportunities, he takes what he does very serious, and he's gifted, and he's a real athlete. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't just gifted at boxing, right? Like, across the board, he's a real athlete. So these are some of the dynamics that I see. You know, go ahead.
He's a ping pong champion. I see how competitive he reminds me of Bruce Lee. You know, those
There you go.
guys. He's a
Exactly.
super competitive.
There you
Michael
go.
Jordan,
There you go.
psychotic,
Yeah,
psychotic,
psychotic. Yeah.
so competitive that they
Yo,
crazy, because you hear the
he was
stories.
he was arguing with a reporter about with a cameraman about a Street Fighter, a video game, and Tekken. I mean, he was serious about it. I mean, that went over some people's head, man. Like, he's serious about it. Those are fighting games. Those are competitive games, you know. So I don't know.
The point is that he takes boxing. Nowadays, I'm just gonna say this for not all fighters, but most fighters don't take it. They're not in it like he's in. He's not just in it for the money. He's in it. He really wants to be the best. You know, so he reminds me of the Kobe Bryant that stay in the gym the extra hour. You know, they ain't interested in going out and partying, and you know, he's not consumed with all of the things that could, probably mess up his body. You know what I mean? So that's why I believe that he's still able to fight at a high level at his age, for his age. Because normally, them boxers, you know, they start to fizzle out. Earl Spence, I'm hoping he come back, because I really like Earl Spence.
Me too.
What I
But
say,
I like it.
this is what I always say. Fighters have an expiration date, and we've seen it. Roy Jones Jr. had an expiration date. You know what I'm saying? Even Floyd Mayweather. You know, Floyd was just more smarter than the average fighter. You know what I'm saying? He just uses his mind. You know what I'm saying? When it came to retiring, who he picked to fight. Um, I think Crawford is training and preparing. He's on the level of Floyd when it comes to training and preparing. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing.
Right.
It's all about the fight, and whoever prepares the best, whoever leads that fighter lifestyle, no drinking, running, you know, working on your craft. Whoever stay close to that. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard. The only reason he beat Roberto Duran is because Roberto Duran went and ate food, gained 200 pounds, and then had to come back down. You know what I'm saying? And Sugar Ray Leonard ran that shit right back because he knew that Duran was going to get fat. You know what I'm saying? These are opportunities. You know what I'm saying? He didn't fight. Right. It's strategic. You know what I'm saying? You know, Roberto could have stayed in shape. You know what I'm saying? But he the one went out there drinking and getting fat. And then when Leonard offered him to fight, you know what I'm saying? He was so arrogant. He decided to fight him. No, bro, you can't beat that man. That man been doing nothing but training. He ain't been doing nothing but training because you messed up his record. He want to get you back, and then he's gonna fight his fight. He's not gonna fight your fight anymore. He got bullied and he got humiliated into trying to fight your fight, and that's why when I see Shakur Stevenson's of today, no, fight your fight, man. You can't fight nobody else fight. You know what I'm saying? You're not, you know, certain fighters can change their style like Floyd, but switch hitters, you know what I'm saying? People who could do different things in the ring, but they're gifted.
Oh
Crawford,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You know, fight your fight, man, because you know, not everybody is versatile. It's versatile is the special ones, you know, because he's gonna get knocked out if he go in there trying to fight T.O. the way he fought. What was that guy he just fought?
Vaqueda.
Zepeda.
Cepeda.
He's gonna get
Yeah,
knocked out if he try to fight Tio like that. You know what I'm saying? Tio don't have the best offense. He's not the best aggressive fighter. But he's got power and he's got speed. And that's his kryptonite. That is I believe that is
I
Shakur
think I
Stevenson.
think Haney could be better if he get another trainer. I think his father he reached his limit with his father. Let me say that.
Oh,
I think he need to.
I think that Lomachenko fight would have been a lot better if he would have went with somebody. If he went with a Floyd Senior or Jeff Mayweather, or he would have went with one of them guys, because he's all over the place when it comes to picking a trainer. He's taking bits and pieces, and you need to stick with one.
Yeah,
You need to stick with one, because all that flip flopping is going to confuse you. You know what I'm saying? You got to really master your style. And then he don't have the power. You know what I'm saying? So he's got to depend on skill. You see, I think Richard Hitchson last fight against
Mm-hmm.
Camboso, man, that boy was sharp as hell.
Yeah, he
That
looked
boy,
good.
he looked good. I was totally impressed, because he almost got knocked out the fight before that. He looked like a. I mean, I don't think he didn't dehydrate. He didn't hydrate back like he's supposed to, and he almost got up out of there. You know what
Oh,
I'm
you
saying?
told me called Lemos. Lemos.
Yeah,
Right. Yep. Lamos.
yeah.
Yeah.
He almost. I said, man, what the hell is going on? Because that used to be Mayweather fighter. He used to be a Mayweather fighter. So he definitely got the skills. So that I would love to see the fight. If he beats Brian Norman Jr., I would love to see him fight Richard Hitchson for the belt. Well, that's at
Then
140 though. He's not going to
yeah,
go
and
down
Richard,
there.
one
Richard getting ready to move up though. He ain't gonna be at 140 too long. He been
and one
complaining about that 10 next day or 10-day weight gain that you have to do for IBF. You can't go over 10 pounds the day of the fight. He don't like that.
and one thing I can say about Crawford, he invests a lot of money into his training. I mean,
Mm,
yeah, they take it to that whole nother level. I don't know if y'all remember Holyfield when he was training for the Tyson fight. They invested a lot of money at that time. I don't know what kind of money, but before Holyfield got in that ring with Tyson, he was investing a lot of money on his training.
mhm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
they have a nutritionist. He has a nutritionist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He has the actual strength and conditioning coach. You know, he don't just rely on Bomac for all of that. They got a whole big team.
Yeah, they got a system, man. Their system is it's a machine. And
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
watching, and I love how they lock it down. There's no cameras. I was like looking at the little promo on Instagram, and he was like, no cameras, shut it down. And they nothing but work, like Sparta, like this shit is Sparta, you know, and they in there to work, and that's what they
Yeah.
do, man. I was like, you need that environment, and fighters used to lock it in like that, but
Yeah.
we got so much going on. There's so much other things to get into for these fighters that it's hard to lead that monk, on Tibet, that monk going up the mountain on Tibet. It's hard to leave that to live that lifestyle. I saw Hagler do that shit, man. I saw the training. If you look at all the people that really impressed you in their training over the years, I saw Floyd. Floyd is crazy because he would go to McDonald's, pick up a Big Mac. So he might take a bite out of that motherfucker, but he ain't gonna eat it. He ain't finna eat that fast food. He tried to trick people to think that he's just the average, just eating bad, or he's drinking. He don't do none of that, bro. He don't do none of that stuff.
None of that. No, you don't do no smoking, no drinking, none of that.
Nothing. Nothing. And you got to be that way, what I'm saying, to be able to last. I do love the pressure fighters. I do love the Earl Spence Juniors, because they make this boxing things of ours, very exciting. But like Floyd told them, you're only going to last so long, walking through punches, um, parrying punches, up close and taking it to the gut like Ugas. And you're only going to last so long, taking those. You got to be able to evade some punches, You got to be able to box, Or you're just going to get tore down systematically just for the tough fights. You know, Floyd was very smart about that. You know what I'm saying? When his daddy is the master of defense, Roger is the master of offense. He just had the best of both worlds, man. When he beat Diego Corrales, when he beat Inoue, not Inoue, what's that African guy name where he hit him with like six pool counters and knocked him out. I was like, bro, Floyd, to me, Floyd was on the whole. I don't care what Roy Jones Jr. talking about. Roy Jones Jr. could say what the hell he wanted to say about Floyd. Floyd was a bad motherfucker, man. He
Oh
was a
yeah.
bad. I don't care what the hell Roy Jones Jr. is talking about. You know, I watched all his fights, and that boy family, um, that boy family prepared him for war. You know, even when he didn't even believe in himself. You know, when he beat Zab Judah, that was just pure. That was just pure grit. Zab Judah was the better athlete. He was faster. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? He had Floyd dead to right, but then them 6 rounds went through. It was a wrap. It was a wrap. Floyd stopped walking him down. You know what I'm saying? Stopped walking him down. He couldn't take it. Hit Floyd in the nuts, and that's when Roger and everybody rushed. Start choking the shit out of start choking
Yeah,
the hell out
yeah.
of.
Zab Judah. Yeah. Yeah, that was
You
crazy.
remember how Roger had your boy by
Zab
the
Judah.
neck, Zab by the neck.
His neck jacked up against the ropes. Yeah, yeah, that was crazy.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that was,
Yo, man, we
yeah,
we
man.
have we have seen some boxing, bro. Winky Wright. You know, nobody talks about Winky Wright anymore.
Yeah,
Shane Mosley when he was coming up, knocking out motherfuckers, and people don't even remember when Floyd used to knock out people. Man, Floyd used to put so much on it, bro. It was crazy. Angel Manfredi. I mean, some of the
knocked out
knockout,
Diego Corrales, dropped him what 6 times or something like that.
bro, and you know Merchant was hating. Larry Merchant. Imagine having haters like Larry Merchant.
Yeah, I
You know,
Yeah,
remember
'cause
those days. I remember those days.
bro, Larry Merchant said he's gonna fight. He's gonna fight Diego Corrales. We're gonna see what he's all about. Went out there and destroyed shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, Floyd. Then he got on Floyd. Good stuff. I was so happy when Floyd went off on him after that Ortiz fight. I think that was like boxing history. He told me you don't know shit about boxing.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he tried to downplay the win, talking about Victor Ortiz, just checked out,
Man,
got
Larry
caught.
Merchant was always crazy talking bullshit though. He was always like that though. With all the
I mean,
black
you could
fighters.
tell a lot of these guys. This new generation, they so trollish, bro. They don't understand that even if your favorite, we've watched all our favorite fighters lose, bro, before
Yep,
you were
yep.
born. So
Yep.
when you troll people our age, it don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get through. We've watched all our favorite fighters lose, bro. This trolling shit is for you kids. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all don't love boxing the way we do. You see what I'm saying? You know, you on here talking about Spence fan and Crawford fan. He's trash. Everybody's trash. Okay, well, take your ass on and watch soccer. Ain't that what y'all do? Go watch soccer. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me on some bullshit because y'all know how I used to. Don't get me on some bullshit now. Go and watch soccer now. Go and get your Corona. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And go and do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me on that bullshit now. You know. But we're man. It ain't about that, bro. It's about because Oscar De La Hoya was a bad motherfucker. Oscar De La Hoya fought black people. He
Hmm.
fought the best. He fought everybody, bro. That's a fighter. You know what I'm saying? And Oscar De La Hoya said something the other day. I saw him. He was like, I can't wait till this era is over. And I felt him on that shit. He said because
Yeah,
he's like, y'all
yeah,
saw
he's
that?
mad because I seen it because he's mad because Xander didn't take the deal. They offered him a 50-50 deal for the fight to be on the zone. And Xandar was like, "Nah, I'll come to Puerto Rico." Costco was like, "You don't have a network. Top Rank don't even have a network deal right now. That's have a fight 50-50. You the champion in Vegas or California. Let's make it happen on pay-per-view," which is crazy. They putting that fight on pay-per-view, but the fight was there. And that's why he said, "I'm so sick of these boxers. I can't wait till their era is over with, so we can get some new fighters that want to fight the best and want to challenge themselves." Stuff like that. He was just disgusted with Xandar. But even if Xandar would have wanted to take that fight, Top Rank wasn't going to put him in there. Top Rank, they trying to get a TV deal. And they wanted him to have a showcase fight in his hometown of Puerto Rico. They're not going to put him in there with no Virgil and lose his belt.
And Xander is not going to beat no Madrimov. Xander ain't going to beat no Madrimov. He ain't going to beat no Bogachuk. He's not going to beat none of them dudes. He's not going to beat a Virgil Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? He's a little slick little boxer, but he's not going to beat them
suspect
dudes.
now.
I'm saying what now?
Virgil Ortiz is suspect, bro. He's suspect.
They need to run that back. I agree. They need to run that back.
He'd be having issues too. So I wouldn't.
Yeah, but it ain't on the level. He ain't fit to overwin. Nah, he ain't right now. The way he boxing, he's okay. He's a decent fighter. He's an average fighter. He shouldn't be no champion. That's why Virgil Ortiz was pissed off. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like he got the luck of the draw. You know what I'm saying?
Virgil Ortiz had a chance to fight Crawford, and he didn't want to take that fight
because he got hit in the mouth by Green Machine. Green Machine dacked him.
Yeah, we had him hurt real bad. Had him hurt real bad.
Green Machine hit his ass. I said, oh my God, bro. No, not Virgil Ortiz, bro. You know what I'm saying? He folded him.
No, I'm talking about before he fought Green Machine. I'm talking about back when Crawford was at 147.
He beat Maurice Hooker. Yeah, after he beat Hooker. Crawford was there. He was saying that he wanted to fight. He said he wanted it to happen, but I don't think Golden Boy was.
I couldn't even believe they made that fight. I couldn't even understand why they were talking about Maurice Hooker. That motherfucker moved like a snail. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I hate Maurice Hooker. He's too long. He's built like a slinky. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, bro, why do they got this guy in here with Virgil Ortiz, man? This dude don't even look like he got Scotch tape keeping him up. You know what I'm saying? But that it was when
he was highly touted at first, man. When he first came on the scene, he was highly touted. But when you watch him fight, he just, he was good, but he was like when they were hyping him up, he was like, nah, he ain't what they hyping him up to be.
I couldn't believe it, bro. I said, what is it with this? You know how we. Good.
Who surprised me? Fandor who surprised me, man. I ain't think he was gonna
when he got beat by Mendoza, I was just like, this nigga is soft. But he got better. He got better.
Yeah. He was winning that fight though. He just got caught with a shot, and he seemed like he didn't try to get up. He just stayed there. I guess he knew he was hurt. He was hurt bad though. He was hurt. He got caught flush, but he didn't try to get up. But outside of that, he was able to improve, like you say, after that fight. Get some good wins over Lubin.
The way he did Eric Lubin should be criminal.
Yeah, that was disrespectful.
Bro, I never thought Eric Lubin would have ate that many uppercuts at one time, bro. That shit looked like Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? It looked like when Goku went Super Saiyan. You know what I'm saying? And he was just, I was like, you saw his face after that, bro? I was like, man.
Oh, he was beat up bad.
Bro, his face was disfigured. I was like, Lubin, why Lubin loses?
He looked like the Elephant Man.
Man.
He looked crazy, man.
And then look at Tim Tszyu. Look at Fandor. Look at not only with Fandor, Bokachuk. Was it Bokachuk that did that to him? Was it Bokachuk? Yeah, I think
that was Fandor.
No, that was Backroom. That was Backroom that beat him.
He beat Tim Tszyu, yeah.
Backroom Motalev, man, the way he beat Tim Tszyu like he wasn't shit. I was like, damn. I never thought much of Tim Tszyu, just that right hand. Nobody could see it. Tony Harrison, I couldn't understand. Tony Harrison, I don't know how he went down. I know his daddy died, passed. I think that had a lot to do with why he looked the way he looked, because Tony Harris gave Charlo hell. He gave him pure hell.
Yep.
I just knew that he was going to go in there and destroy Tim Zoo. And I was like, bro, what's going on here? What's happening? You know, the ring was small. Um, I don't know. He just lost it. Um,
Yeah,
And
you
you
know,
know,
he got
they
destroyed in that
Terrence,
fight.
since you talking about the ring being small, you know they made this ring small for Canelo.
of course, of course. You know, they're not going to give Crawford all that damn room. You know, for Crawford getting paid $50 million, they're gonna make sure Canelo gets some punches in. They do not want him to be humiliated. You know what I'm saying? Make this motherfucker 13 inches, god damn it, so Canelo could get some licks in, god damn it. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. You know, they don't want the cash cow, the golden goose, to look stupid, you know. So
Well,
he's gonna
don't be surprised when he looks stupid. He gonna be looking like Earl Spence about the face.
well,
Yeah.
that'll be. I mean, I hear you. I mean, I hear that fanboy in you. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes,
hear it.
sir.
I hear that
Yes,
fanboy in
sir.
you. But you know,
Yes, sir.
I'm hoping that Crawford win. You know, I
Man.
really am.
Yes,
But I want it
sir.
to be. Let me tell you, I want it to be a good fight. I want it to be one of them fights that
I
we
just want you
just
to go
you know how you
live
be on
after
the
that day,
you,
though.
you know how you be on the edge. You know what I'm saying? Every punch, every swing. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
want it to be one of them
Like
kind of
the
fights. I
Errol
don't.
Spence, like the Errol Spence fight was on edge the whole time.
Mm, I definitely was, but when I saw Spence, the way he came in, the way he was looking, I didn't think it was gonna. I didn't think it was Spence. It's just his health, just not good, just not good. You know, I mean, it's just his health.
Since
He always get hurt
he
too
lived a
hard.
lifestyle that just was gonna run. Eventually. Not only did he have a car accident, but his lifestyle was gonna catch up with him.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree.
when you
I
run
agree with
into
all that.
somebody, like a Crawford, that's a gym rat. Crawford is a gym rat. You know, I mean, he loves this shit. This is the shit he loves. This shit. He's very competitive. He don't like to
Well,
lose
you
his
about to
shit.
make the pool counter come out, goddamn it! I look. I mean, I'm supporting Crawford, but God damn it. I was like, y'all keep talking shit about Crawford. I mean, Crawford, yeah, you're right, though. He is
He,
disciplined. And I think,
he
one thing I could say about Crawford is he got the team, man. You got to build yourself a team. He built himself a team, you
and he was
know.
willing to pay for it, and he paid the price. I know that shit didn't come cheap. Come on, let's just be real about it. You know them people ain't working for free. You know,
Yeah,
he
multi-millionaire said
invested in his
he
body.
won. He had it 9-3 against Madrimov. Man, y'all, if y'all are boxing fans, look more than just the surface. Look at how these guys think. Think if you was in the ring and all the fights that you've seen, and how would you approach, saying the different setups that other boxers got. And when I saw that Madrimov fight, it was more than just Crawford getting hit. He was figuring that guy out, man. And I'm looking at that and how he probably is going to face Canelo. How he's going to have to make adjustments. That's Crawford's strength is making adjustments and
On the fly.
on the fly. That's his strength. That's what he do, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you can nullify that, you know what I'm saying, you could beat Crawford ass. But how you gonna nullify how somebody think? You know what I'm saying, in the ring, and he's in supreme tip top condition. You know what I'm saying? So you got a Dragon Ball Z character in the goddamn ring. You know what I'm saying? You fighting against a goddamn Vegeta. You know what I'm saying? So you got to figure out, what I'm saying, how to shut that mind down. And the only way I can think of is knocking his ass out. You're gonna have to knock his ass out. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to shut that brain off. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing you can do. Shut that brain down.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
man.
And
You have to go. You have
Canelo
to
can
do
do
it.
it
You have
though.
to say that,
Canelo can
man.
do
You
it.
have to go that far.
No, I'm just saying that's you got to shut that brain down
Yes,
like
sir.
Floyd. You got to
Yes,
keep
sir.
him from thinking boxing. He gonna figure it out eventually. If long as you keep him around, he's gonna figure something out, just like he did Zab Judah. Zab Judah was fast, and Zab Judah will fucking Floyd up. You know what I'm saying? He was fucking Floyd up. Floyd was even Floyd he had to put a glove on the canvas. You know what I'm saying? Because Zab was just so fast. You know what I'm saying? He was so explosive. He didn't know what to do. And then he figured it out. You know what I'm saying? Stop going to the body. You know what I'm saying? Stop pressing forward. Stop walking them down. And Zab couldn't deal with the pressure. We might see something similar in this fight because I've never seen anybody except for maybe Triple G pushing back. Maybe Bivol. Um, certain fights, you know what I'm saying, where they had the length, they had the you know what I'm saying, the arm length, you know what I'm saying, to keep Canelo back and the power, you know what I'm saying, to go along with it. I think Crawford's gonna have not I ain't gonna say he's gonna have knockout power, but I think he's gonna have just like Floyd, respectable power. You never seen anybody like really come in on Floyd like that once he start throwing them hands. Um, he's got respectable power. And I think Canelo is going to have to recognize because he's going to be scoring. When you got hand speed that Crawford has, and a lot of people says that Crawford has slowed down since he gained the weight. They said at 54 when he fought Magic, I thought his hands was fast as shit. I just thought he was economical with his punches. They said he was slow at 154, but I
I
think he's going to be
think he was
faster than
slow. I
Canelo.
think it's like you said. He wasn't. Um, he was just throwing. He's being economical with his punches, like you said. I agree with that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm fair, I'm pull kind of boxing. You know what I'm saying? We fair, you know what I'm saying? I love the sport, so I give it up to where I see it. Crawford is a generational dude, man. And I think Boots is going to be the same way. I think he's going to be a generational dude. He
I
just
don't
needs to get
know,
there.
man. I don't know.
Really?
Boost need to get some new management or something. Get somebody to light some fire up under this they team and get them some fights because he only getting older
Yeah, he
Mm.
and
resigned with
he hasn't
Matchroom.
yet.
He resigned with them some bitches? Oh, my God.
Yeah, he signed with Matchroom. He signed he ran a multi-fight deal with Matchroom. That's why he fighting Lima. That's a Matchroom card there in Philadelphia. So
Man, it ain't been but a few Guyana fighters, and that was going way back.
The fights that he's fighting, he should be trying to unify that division. And I don't see why he ain't moving in that
Really?
direction.
You really think Boots need to it's gonna be like Crawford 140 undisputed. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I ain't supposed
you
to
talking
go
about that
there.
147? Or you talking
Yeah,
about that 154?
if Boots becomes undisputed at 147, who is there, you know what I'm saying, as an old box fan that you want to see him
No,
like,
I'm just
well,
saying
He
get the
could have fought
belts and
Brian
then
Norman
move
Jr.
up.
That was a
Yeah, I'm
fight.
just saying he has his opportunity. There's nobody there. He could just go
right.
ahead and just
Yeah, but
say,
you
I
don't.
mean,
We don't. I don't want no empty accolades. We old school. We want to see. I'd rather see him fight a great journeyman than a subpar champion. You know what I'm
well,
saying?
whoever got the belts, then that's who he fight. I'm pretty sure that,
Right.
I'm
That's
not
who
sure
got
who
the belt. But what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
if the champion, if you had got certain people get opportunities to fight for the belt, and there's better journeymen that's out there that don't get the opportunity. You see what I'm saying? And people avoid those guys because they're
And one
difficult. Like
so in one
remember Emmanuel Augustus? Remember him?
Yeah, the drunken.
Right.
mhm.
Nobody wanted to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Because he gave Floyd his hardest fight, bro. You know what I'm saying? When he was in his prime, right? Because you know what I'm saying? But then you got the guys who's at the top. Floyd just destroyed them, like Diego Corrales and stuff. He just went through them. But it was Emmanuel Augustus who gave him his hardest ass task. You know what I'm saying? Blooded Floyd up. You know what I'm saying? Put hands on and feet on Floyd. And he danced when he did it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, the drunken
you know what I'm saying?
master.
The drunken master, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He put it on Floyd ass. Floyd beat shit out of him. Now, don't get me wrong. But Floyd knew you saw Floyd face and mouth after the drunken master. He was still smiling even when he got beat down and they had to stop the fight. And that was KO boxing. That's what I forgot what's the little DJ guy name was back then. That was on KO Boxing. When Floyd took it to him and took it to a whole nother level. The drunken master couldn't deal with it. His lifestyle wasn't in sync back then. But that was a tough fight for Floyd. Even Floyd said that was his toughest fight. You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying? And if you notice, Floyd didn't fuck with a whole lot of black fighters, back then. Even though he did call out Sugar Shane Mosley. He did, and people say, well, why didn't he fight Sugar Shane Mosley? But what Sugar Shane said, he had a toothache. He said he had a toothache at the time. He did end up fighting him later, when he wasn't the same dude that was coming up from 135. But a lot of people that Floyd, what I'm saying, asked to
But
fight when he was in his prime, they wouldn't fight him.
here-
You know what I'm saying?
here's my thing about Bruce Ennis, and this is my only concern about him is that he's 28 years old, right?
Yeah.
And he has 35 fights and has no type of belt. And I'm concerned that
He got an IBF, right?
yeah,
He
but
got the IBF.
he got that after being stripped. Okay, I get that. I'm not taking that away from him. You're right. He got the IBF, but I'm wanting him if because he was calling out Crawford. Okay, because
Yeah.
Crawford had a belt, right? I
No,
thought
because
that was the
Crawford is
reason why.
Crawford. He fight Crawford without a belt. He needed that name. He needed a signature fight. Don't you think?
Okay. At 154, who's gonna be that signature fight for him? Because he's gonna run into the same thing
Where
that he
he
was.
where
And
he
I
abandoned.
can understand
Yeah.
maybe him not being able to make that weight. So I get it if he at 154. But who is he gonna fight at 154? Thurman ain't gonna fight him.
Nah. But even Sean Porter said, he wouldn't even spar with the dude. Um, he abandoned the WBO route because he figured that Crawford wasn't gonna fight him. So, you know what I'm saying? He went on. I'm sorry, you kind of dropped off, bro. So he went after Spence because Spence went to his fight at ringside and checked him out. So Spence he was talking, even FaceTime Spence. So Spence was gonna give him that fight. Spence was gonna give him that fight if he didn't, but of course, what happened. Um, Spence, so he didn't think that Bud Crawford was going to give him the fight, so he abandoned the WBO route and he went with Spence route. He went to because Spence had the other belts and stuff, so he put the mandatory on him. I think it was the IBF, and that's how he got on that track.
So that's how
Because
you gonna create that narrative, man.
come on, man, that is not a narrative, bro. Did not Spence go ringside
You
to his
didn't have to
fight when he
throw.
fought
You
that
didn't have to.
Canadian?
You didn't
When he
have to
fought the
throw the
Canadian.
WBO belt. You see, you two know what you said was you had a Spence over there, but what you said was he didn't think he was gonna get that fight with Crawford at the
He
WBO.
didn't.
As
Did
though
he get the fight with Crawford?
I'm
No.
sorry, no,
Yes, it did.
that's because he vacated the WBO.
Right. He went after Spence because Spence
Okay,
said
so
Spence was going to fight him. Spence went to his fight. You remember back in the old days when you
right.
knew who was going to fight next because they was at your fight. So Spence was at his fight. He wanted to see what he looked like. He talked shit to Spence. He's telling me something. He said something about catching a fish, and he said, "Be careful of what you pick up," or some shit like that. They were talking
Yeah.
shit,
I remember that.
and they
I
were
remember that.
FaceTiming
I
each other.
remember that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember
Spence
that.
was gonna fight him. He was like, what's up, young man? I get you. Just let me see what's happening. You know what I'm saying? And if I think if Crawford would have been like that, what I'm saying, I think I would have probably been like y'all. You know what I'm saying? I would have been rabid Bud Crawford fan, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the way he just looked at shit differently. He just
You
he
gotta take your
just
shot. You always gotta take your shots, bro. I hear you.
see,
This
that's a
is a
shot to a Crawford fan. That's just logic to a damn average motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You can't even say shit. I ain't gonna even mention Crawford, god damn it, no more. God damn it. It's like y'all motherfuckers sensitive as a motherfucker, bro. God damn.
no, that was a
It's like
shot.
it was a shot, you know what I'm saying? Oh,
Okay.
god damn, bitch
I
ass
ain't
Crawford.
mad at
No,
you. I
no,
ain't
no,
mad
he
at
good.
you,
He
bro.
good. Nah,
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Crawford, really, 100%. I want him to beat Canelo. I want him to beat the shit out of Canelo. If he can knock Canelo out, I want that to happen. And because I come from back in the day, and a lot of people be telling me something. I don't understand, saying because maybe I'm 56 and it's a new generation, and when we start talking about race, don't you think boxing has always been about race? You know what I'm saying? And cultural pride and everything. People think that's like some kind of crazy affront. I think only if you like a white person, you take it that way. But you got these new age black people. It's always been about race and stuff and pride, racial pride, ever since Jack Johnson.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
I mean, I don't understand.
Shoot.
It's almost like we live in a
When
pretend.
Jack Johnson beat a white dude up there and he crossed the radio, the black folks was tripping. We was on that dancing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's almost like they think you racist just because you're talking about race. It's some kind of weird concept dynamic that they put you in. You know, it, when I came up, everything was about you over here. You lived on this side of town. I didn't live in the civil rights, and I don't I mean, I was born during that time, but talking about race wasn't a big deal. But now for this generation, the propaganda is so crazy that you can't even talk about race or that you'll be labeled racist. Well, most people my age are racist, even if they don't admit it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, there's different degrees of racism. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't understand. You can have like the most racist person and get along with them because they open about certain things. They don't want a black guy in their family. You know what I'm saying? A black guy don't want a white guy in their family. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? People want to keep you know their heritage and their blood, saying the way they want it. Now I don't say it's always work out that way and you end up loving your grandkids anyway, but when we were coming up, I'm 56, so that's the way it was. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so when I see kids today, they afraid to talk about race. It ain't that people hate you, it's just that's the way they was conditioned coming up. You know what I'm saying? And people used to be open about it. Now people have hidden their thoughts about it. That's why I say my channel, I'm open and honest about everything. But just because you don't understand, because you don't come from that background of how we looked at race growing up, it's not that you're racist. Everybody got a little bit of racism in them. It's cultural. It's a cultural thing. It's a class thing. It's a bunch of elements that come to it, but it's different degrees of it. And a lot of people are just very uncomfortable talking
It,
about it or
it,
facing it. Hmm.
yeah, but with that being said, there's consequences that come with it. So if you're gonna
Yeah.
be ugly and nasty about it, you can expect that there's some consequences that's gonna come behind it. So I'm not sure.
Well, I'm looking at
Um,
your age. I'm pretty sure you've seen some, right?
yeah,
You've
that's
seen
what
some. Yeah.
I'm 57, so yeah,
Mm.
yeah, you
Yeah, you
know,
know what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, it's
I'm
like
not finna,
it's like
I'm not
once
finna
you've
go in
been
no hick town. I'm not finna go no hick town, knowing that if I call somebody a cracker, that I'm gonna walk away and ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. No, I'm gonna have something to say about it.
right. But my thing is, it's like they act like this political correctness. It's like if you even talk about it, it's like, oh man, you bringing up the racial thing. It's like it's not that vague, bro. It's very nuanced. It's more nuance to it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you
Yeah,
talking about color. No, bro, it ain't just about color, bro. It's, what I'm saying? Boxing is always, you want to see somebody that look like you to be the champion. You see it all the time in England and in British boxing. You know what I'm saying? In the media and at the zone. You know what I'm saying? You see it all the time. The way the way they villainize boxing, pure boxers like Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? It's so such
it's not. So why would I think it's not racist if the Mexicans are all rooting for Canelo,
right.
right?
Exactly. Right. It's a national sports is, it's a national thing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to
Right.
see. You know, the Americans, yeah, not all
I want
Americans.
to
See,
see. I want to see Crawford, the black boxer, beat the Mexican boxer because
right.
he's a black fighter. I'm a black person. That's who I want to win. He represents me.
Mhm.
You know what
And
I'm
people
saying?
don't see, and a lot of the Mexicans don't understand that we've already traded David Benavidez for Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? So he's now black. You know what I'm saying? We got David Benavidez in our camp now. So we've made him a black boxer. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can't have him no more. The Mexican monster is now the Harlem monster. You know what I'm saying?
Now
I just
how we wait a minute, hold on. So how we get that trade? What happened?
because that motherfucker wasn't born in no Mexico. That motherfucker born in America.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Okay, so come on, hang with me now. You know, plus that
Now I'm
motherfucker
with you
fight
now. I'm with
anybody.
you now. I'm just saying maybe I missed something on that. Cause
You
you
know,
know,
Oscar De La Hoya. You know, remember how he was split and he fought ferocious Vargas Fernando, and
yeah.
you know he was saying that Oscar De La Hoya wasn't a true Mexican. Man, that was a hell of a
Oh, I
fight, y'all.
remember that. I remember
Y'all
that.
don't
I remember that.
understand the race thing, man. He was calling us. He was pulling his Mexican card out, y'all. He was in front of everybody, and Oscar went out there and beat the hell out of him. And he was on steroids. He beat he beat he beat him when he was on steroids. Do y'all understand that? That's why y'all don't understand what Oscar De La Hoya did during his career. You know, and he fought blacks. He fought block. That's why I love the guy because he even if he lost to Bernard Hopkins to that body shot, you know what I'm saying? He dared to be great. He went up there. You know, Bernard Hopkins is a beast. You know what I'm saying? But he went up there and fought him anyway. Ike Quarley. I respect that. You have to respect that. That's why I respect the Mexican people. Don't get me wrong. But y'all new Mexican, yeah, you know, behind Canelo, y'all don't know what the hell y'all looking at. You know what I'm saying? Oscar De La Hoya was way tougher than Canelo Alvarez. Ever
I
was.
I didn't spoke to some Mexicans. They don't know. They just go with I think some of the new. Let me say this: the young M's, the young M's, or the YMs. Um, they just go with it because it's been handed down that this is where we go with our Mexican fighters. Don't even know the history of some of the boxers. I was just talking with them. They was like, huh? You know, like they really didn't know boxing. They just did it because it was handed down to them.
They don't even know Salvador Sanchez. They don't even know nothing about that, bro.
Yeah,
One
right.
of
They
their
don't know
greatest,
none
one of
of
their
these other boxers I tell you.
one of their
Yeah.
greatest boxers ever who died young. That dude, they don't know nothing about it, bro. Mm,
And I'm like, okay, so they just do it because they was taught that. They was taught that this is what we do. You know.
Yeah,
They don't even
you know
know.
what I'm
They don't really know nothing about the boxing. They know a little bit something. They know a little bit about Canelo. So you might, but after that, you go to name another fighter. Say, who's that? Huh?
Man,
You know what I'm
see,
saying?
some of these fighters had so much talent. You just cringe at how far they could have went if they would have lived. You know, Diego Corrales. You know what I'm saying? You know, he beat Roberto Garcia. That was a hell of a fight. Um,
Mm-hmm.
man, when you talk about Castillo and Roberto Garcia, oh my God, bro.
When you talk about the legacy that Chavez family left behind, I mean,
Mm.
you
Except for
know,
Chavez Jr. You know, forget
yeah,
about him.
yeah. Well,
Mm. You know, the draw that he got from Sweet Pea. What is his name? Taylor versus Chavez. The 3 seconds. You know, said, man, bro. Let me tell you something. Y'all be talking on the surface on, you know, about a lot of this racial stuff, man. But blacks and Mexicans, we go way back, bro, with respect for each other. You know what I'm saying? It's just a competition thing. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Blacks and Mexicans respect each other immensely. You know what I'm saying? We know the pride and the heritage of Mexican boxers, man. They are tough, you know what I'm saying? They got their own culture, you know what I'm saying? They do their thing, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They do their thing and blacks respect them to the utmost. You know what I'm saying? We just a little bit more athletic. We just got a little bit more bend. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Puerto Rican boxers. I think one of the best one of the best fights was Salvador Sanchez. I forgot who the Puerto Rican champion was. And man, look here. Look here, bro. They went 15 rounds back then. You know what I'm saying? You had to respect it, throwing hands. So, you know, the stuff that we watching today, you know what I'm saying, it's like boxing light compared to what we used to, you know. And I'm pretty sure some of them old dudes who used to watch Sugar Ray Robinson and Jack LaMotta fight 6 times, you know what I'm saying, destroying each other. You know what I'm saying? It was just it's different, you know. So when I argue with a lot of guys on here, you know, I argue from a place of just looking at boxing in a pure form, you know, just violence and pure competitiveness. You know what I'm saying? It's got nothing to do with hating or any race or anything like that. It's just the rivalry, you know what I'm saying? It's just a rivalry. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it ain't a big deal, you know, ain't a big deal. He said, I could, yeah, yeah, you know, black, we respect the hell. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya was one of my favorite. Right now, David Benavidez is my favorite fighter. You know, so I don't give a damn what nobody say. I don't care what no black say. I don't care what nobody say. David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, is that dude. What you think, JB? Man, everybody going to sleep. He said, is Bud still the boogeyman after Canelo makes him quit in the corner? Mm. Well, I think you answered your own question, to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? I think you answered your own question. You know, you seem to be really in Canelo's corner. You know, I want payday. You know what I'm saying? If you have a bottle of Cabliterol over there and get busted, you know what I'm saying? Will that change your mind? Or would you still be saying he's a champion? He says, Bullmac hid Cheetos in his Betty. Let me tell you something. But the system that they got going on over there is pretty, it's working. You know, now they are the camp. They are the camp. You know what I'm saying? They really are the camp right now. The way Bud is doing things, uh, to be 38 years old and still banging, slinging, and banging the way he is, I would have to say that I am highly impressed. You know what I'm saying? I talked a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying, about how old this dude was, but is he doing anything extra? I don't know, but I know a lot of 38-year-olds that can't move and do the things that Bud Crawford doing. I'm looking at Better Beef, he's 40. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he had that abnormal test, you know what I'm saying? Because you know, we know normal 40-year-olds, you know what I'm saying, don't move like the way Better Beef do. But of course, they got this trilogy going on with him and Bivol. Bivol's comfortable. He knows Better Beef. And you know what I'm saying, that's going to be an interesting battle right there. You know, that's going to be pretty interesting. What's going on, Rami Emily Jones? He says, David been my favorite fighter since he beat Darrell. Because real boxing fans love the real fighters. They don't duck no smoke. You know what I'm saying? They taking everybody on. He said Bud in Vegas getting harassed by Canelo. Yeah, Canelo fans is like Pacquiao fans. You know, Pacquiao fans is just it's an occult. It's not a fan base. It's an occult. You know what I'm saying? People love that little Filipino, and you know what I'm saying. I love him too, but you know, come on now. You know, come on. You know, it's like he throw 1,000 punches around. Come on. He says Reynoso's hides Cabliterol on his man boobs and extra doses in his man purse. You know, his whole camp is hot. I used to call them the hot boys. I used to call Eddie Ramoso's crew. They had Ryan Garcia and all them guys, and Oscar that lost to Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? I just call them the hot boys. You know what I'm saying? Because they always coming up hot for tests and stuff like that. But that's the way boxing has evolved. You know, they allow some people to get away with it. You know what I'm saying? But if you have I hate to say it, if you have a scientist on your team, you'll be okay. He says, we lucky Bivol, not like Floyd, uh, or would have pulled out the fight. Huh. Well, says we lucky Bivol, not like Floyd, or would have pulled out the fight. Hmm. Didn't Floyd fight Canelo? You know what I'm saying? Floyd gave Canelo the opportunity to get a couple of more fights in, but Canelo thought he was ready. You know, he was touring um, with Floyd, and Floyd, you know, told him when he's ready, you know what I'm saying, to let him know. And Canelo, you know, he threatened to leave, uh, you know what I'm saying, but, you know, he took the fight. You know, Floyd was 36 years old, and, you know, we saw what we saw, you know. Um, what'd you say? He pulled out the Canelo fight in '09. Yeah, because he wouldn't take the drug test though. Crawford loaded drug gloves. You know, he wouldn't take the drug test. You know what I'm saying? We all know you can't throw. Come on now, drink them to a catch weight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's some shit that in boxing that's really messed up to drain to a catchweight. But Floyd ain't gonna you know, he's gonna make sure that he's at 146. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna do nothing. He's not gonna drain you to 135 and nothing like that. It's gonna be 146, you know? He says we know that's an excuse. Oh, come on, bro. Come on. You saw the fight. You seen Floyd's skills. Come on now. You know better than that. You know better than that. You know Pacquiao is an offensive machine. He's a come forward fighter. Floyd, that's easy work. Mm. Well, okay, I'll let you have that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I think you've seen the outcome, so you already know what time it is. You know, JB, you there? JB, you still there? Well, I think we got 3 hours in, and I thank everybody, the 300 for coming out. Ramen and Emily Jones in the building. KO King KO. He says, Bullmax hat. I read that. Let's see, everybody that come through multi-millionaire, when you come back, you probably have wrenches. I don't know why it's not giving me the option to do that. Breezy in the building. He's a seven such a top five skill of all time. He knows his boxing right there. Let me see. The father, Yosha's son, he said 115, 113, 116, 112, 11909. Canelo retains the okay. Okay. And, Canelo got some fans up in this building. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying Canelo, won't win. I'm just saying Crawford is, if anybody can beat him, moving up, all I'm saying is Crawford is that generational talent. Don't sleep on them, y'all. Don't sleep on them, just because of your biases. You know what I'm saying? That way you don't be so broke down if Crawford go out there and make Canelo look like a pedestrian, right? And I know that's hard for you to believe, but I've seen some unbelievable fights. I've seen some unbelievable things. And, that's what made pool counter boxing, you know what I'm saying? Because I've seen some things that's unbelievable in this sport, you know what I'm saying? And Crawford is such a determined talent. Um, part of me wants him to take it all. The other half of me don't want him to get that accolade. You know what I'm saying? But he is who he is, bro. You know what I'm saying? You just have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Some athletes, what I'm saying, they just defy all conventional um expectations. And if he's Superman, then he's Superman. Who am I to stop him? You know what I'm saying? Or to try to deny him from his destiny, right? So, Crawford, if he's that man, it's going to show on September 13th. Um, I just think that we're expecting the fight to go one way, but it might go the other way. You know what I'm saying? It might go the other way. And I want the same guys, Crawford loaded gloves, and uh, what I'm saying, everybody. I want everybody, because when Spence lost, full counter boxing was the first one. You know what I'm saying? And Emily and Emily Jones could tell you, I was hurt. You know what I'm saying? But I was the first one. Rema and Emily Jones I was here. You know what I'm saying? I was hurt, but I had to take it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what boxing is all about. You know what I'm saying? It's about accountability, and it's about facing up to, hey, you gotta face the music, man. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see Canelo fans. If Canelo lose, if Crawford lose, I want to see the Crawford fans here talking the same shit. You know what I'm saying? That you're talking on Pool Counter Boxing, and we'll be here. So, you know what I'm saying? Pool Counter Boxing is back. Spread the word. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get y'all some rest. Breezy on the other side breaking the phone. Hey. But you know what I'm saying? We'll see you guys, you know what I'm saying? And we're out, you know what I'm saying? But spread the word, Pool Counter Boxing is back. JB, you got anything you want to say? I think JB done fell asleep. Yeah, saying he says Canelo Canelo in San Antonio about consuming liquor while in camp. Hey, he control. He controls the climate in this fight, so he can do that. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna go out there and land one punch around. Shit, Canelo will win that shit. You know what I'm saying? They give it to Canelo. You know what I'm saying? Crawford better not goddamn try to roughhouse Canelo. You say he definitely losing multimillionaire. Well, we gonna see. You know what I'm saying? But Pull Counter Boxing is back in effect. You know what I'm saying? And y'all tune in and stuff. We're gonna be coming on, you know what I'm saying, and doing what we do. But good night, y'all. I'm exhausted. We put in 3 hours. I know Roman and Emily Johnson, man, usually we do 9 hour streams, but you know what I'm saying, we're gonna build our way back up, man, and get back to it, you know what I'm saying, depending on what's going on. And I appreciate everybody, my 300, you know what I'm saying, that follow me. And to any new guys that want to subscribe, you know what I'm saying, subscribe to my channel, you know what I'm saying? I'm biased as hell. I tell you that right now. But I keep it all about the boxing, you know what I'm saying? And that's all you need to know. You know what I'm saying? If you got a point, you got a point. So that's what it is. This Pool Kind of Boxing, and I'm out. I see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.